Hey everyone, welcome back to the Not Just Politics podcast. The following is a conversation with Angelo Gargaro. He is the head of the Office of Student Conduct at Point Park University, as well as the creator and host of the Spinning Thoughts Music podcast. This is his second time on the show. As a little disclaimer, we ended up losing about half of the audio from this episode on the soundboard, so we ended up just rolling with the audio we got from the cameras. It's not as high, but I would rather give you that than half the episode because this one was a lot of fun. Angelo is one of our good friends, one of my favorite people to talk to, and I just really want everyone to see this episode. And as you can see, not in the studio today. We're actually recording this from Orlando, Florida. We're down here for the Bridge USA Summit. It's going to be a lot of fun. Those episodes will be coming out for the next couple of weeks. To support the show, check out the page on the Say What Needs Saying Network and the links for our social medias in the description. Enjoy.
Yes. Have you seen that we have, this is just full of, have you played any of these sounds?
I know that they're there, but I haven't really played around with
They're
it.
kind of funny, like we have like the...
Does that have the volume for my headphone on there? Can you turn mine up?
Oh yeah, this one right here. Turn you up a little bit.
Check. Is that
Yeah.
my gain? Is that my gain or my volume?
Turn your gain up a little bit. How's that?
Son of a gun.
Is it falling in?
A little bit, yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Grab the screwdriver set. We should keep all this in. This should just be the start of the episode. We have all
Is it
these
filming
sounds.
right now?
Yeah, we're going.
Yeah, we're gonna.
I've debated putting the podcast music on here, and then just having it just do the intro with the music. I actually thought about that.
That's actually a good idea.
That's actually a thing we should do. Then we have it. But yeah, we have all these little fun sounds on here, and I didn't realize this, but like we put our own sounds on our board
Mm-hmm.
and used it last week.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I didn't know this, but it makes sense in hindsight. You have to keep the sound bites on your SD card, otherwise it will go away.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, they're in the board. I'll just take them off the SD card, and then I put it back in.
Of course.
All my sounds were. there were only 3, but I really liked them, and I had to put them back on, and I didn't get a chance to. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's a miracle that I got to the studio at the time that I did, because
Really?
I was up till 2.
Oh my God. Doing what?
We were just talking shit with friends. We were just
Yeah.
hanging out, just, you know what I mean, doing what we do or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went to bed at like maybe later than 2 even, and my
I went to
alarm
bed
went
at,
off
like,
at 8.
3:30 just to upload the video.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a warrior. But I got up at 8 with my alarm, and it was not happening. There was absolutely no way I was getting out of bed. So I thought I set another timer to get up, and I fell back asleep. And I woke up at 9:55. And thankfully it was 9:55, so I had time to get dressed and get over here. But it very easily could have been like me waking up at 11:30
Yeah.
after multiple calls from you or Gavin saying, where the fuck are you? We're live right now. But how you been?
Are we like on?
We've been on for the last 2 minutes.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that. I'm
That
like
might-
still over here getting situated and
I
everything.
didn't mean to put you on the spot with that, but that might all stay in.
Candid and authentic.
Yeah, we just keep it rolling.
I like it. I'm doing good. My knee's hurting, as I guess that was picked up on
Yeah.
here too. Yeah, so hurt my knee somehow by
What's
just
that? That might
living.
have been just before we went live.
Okay,
You know,
well,
you hurt your knee.
Knee's hurting. Yep, for no apparent reason. And but it's a Friday,
It is a Friday, which is great.
so I'm feeling good about that. I got a pistachio latte from the Perk.
From the Perk?
From the Perk?
I never go to the Perk. I'm not a coffee guy though. So I'm not. And then I had their breakfast sandwich, and I'll be fully honest, it wasn't too great.
Yeah, no, I think that's a fair assessment. Gavin, do you drink coffee?
Yeah, but I make my own.
He's a home brewer kind
Yeah.
of guy. He's the guy
Well,
who-
so am I. In my office, I have a 12-cup pot. I have a coffee grinder.
Your office is like, if Point Park went down,
Yeah,
if there was like an apocalypse just at Point Park,
yeah.
I think you could live just out of your office.
I could.
I think you have everything in there. You have like a record player. You've got a mic in there.
I've got it all.
You could have like the apocalypse. Like
I have a
radio
refrigerator,
show.
I have a 3D printer, so I can like make things like to help me
Yeah.
survive.
Yeah. That could be the next like big survival game we come out with. It's just you living in your office as
love it.
Point Park is falling.
Yeah, I've had students actually tell me that they think that my office is nicer, that like I have more things in my office to live than most students do in their residence hall room. And I have the very nice windows that overlook the city.
You have a
and,
very nice view.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think, yeah, you for a freshman dorm. Yeah, I think that's probably true. You have more of a setup in there.
The only thing I don't have is a bathroom, but you know, it's right down the hall.
Yeah, it's on the same floor,
Yeah.
so you could just block off the 7th floor of the student center and you're fine.
Stop the zombies from getting up there.
Yeah.
And in
Yeah.
this apocalyptic setting that we're maybe throwing out,
Yeah.
I think that we'd be okay.
I think so. That would be great. You have like a full setup, but your office is like that's the place where students like you have people just like hanging out in there sometimes. There's like a hangout spot.
All the time. I love it. Doors always open, and yeah.
I filled out the survey on your door yesterday. Was it yesterday, or was it 2 days ago?
Well, it probably would have been a couple days ago because I recently removed the pole and I haven't put one up again.
Yeah, it was the the last one you did. Then I think it was 2 days ago.
It was. Would you rather, if you could travel,
Past or
would you
future?
rather go into the past or future if you could travel to it?
I was a future traveler.
Future. So talk to me about that because actually the poll, the poll. So I do
I'm
a
sorry,
poll of the
folks.
week. I do a poll of the week on my board, 7th floor of the student center. And I just always put up just random, different, questions. I try to just create conversation and get people to come and talk to me. And so I post them every Wednesday. And then the following Wednesday, I always do like an Instagram reel on my student conduct Instagram page that talks about the outcome. So last week was, if you could travel into the past or future, which one would it be? The past ended up winning
Really?
by one.
Oh, okay.
But I was kind of surprised that people chose the past over the future just simply because, we kind of know what happened in the past already.
Are they those people that like want to change it?
So
And they
a
want to
lot
go
of
back to see if like any of the conspiracy theories are true, like to see who shot JFK or something like that.
I mean, some of that stuff would be pretty cool. Like the way that I was phrasing this to people was, you wouldn't be able to go into the past and change anything. You'd just be there observing.
Right.
Because same with the future. Like if you go into the future, you're not changing what happened in the past. But I guess you could change what is going to happen in the future. But yeah, so the poll was
Okay.
basically, if you could just go and witness what's going on and have no impact on what actually happens, most people pick the past. And I find that to be interesting. I don't know. I mean, yeah, would I like to go and see the pyramids or something like that being built?
Oh, I didn't even think about that. That's
Right,
like
'cause
the
that's
one thing that I want to know about before I die.
Right. It's just such an area of conversation and debate. You hear everybody talk about it. Joe Rogan's always on that stuff.
Oh yeah, dude, Rogan loves talking about how the pyramids.
He does. He does. It's,
I'm here for it. Those are like my favorite episodes, to be honest. Those
I
are
know.
my favorite ones.
there was probably 5 years ago, I fell down the craziest rabbit hole of ancient civilizations and ancient technology.
Yeah.
There's a theory that that in ancient times, whether it's Mayan or Egyptian or even ancient Rome and stuff, that all these structures and civilizations that were built, that they were assisted by alien technology.
Yeah, that's the running theory.
Right, I mean, ancient aliens. There was even a show on history or something like that
Okay.
that really dove into that. With that dude with the crazy hair. Do you know what I'm talking about? He's
Yeah,
super eccentric and everything.
I do, because I was at a hotel once, and we got there. I was there with my family. We got there really late, and we just kind of turned on the TV to see what was there, because there's never anything actually. There's never oh my gosh, The Matrix is on. Oh my gosh, it's Mythbusters, the old Mythbusters.
Oh, yeah.
It's
old
always
Mythbusters.
History Channel, Ancient Aliens, and there's a guy talking about how the U.S. military has carved out the moon, and there is now a military research base on the moon, and they're as you can see, this one little crater it opens up at the door to get in. And
Wouldn't that be insane? That seems a little far-fetched. But
I wouldn't put it past the military to have tried.
Sure, to try, but what my theory on that is that if the United States did that, that Russia and other countries are also trying to do the same thing. They would have found it by now maybe, or reported on it, or tried to, go at us for it. Yeah, don't you think?
The most American thing is just to think the moon belongs to us.
Of course. I know. Well, that's why we went up there and put the flag down. You know what I mean?
Just think that no one else owns any piece of it.
Do you think though? I mean,
This is fun. You know Andrew Schultz, the comedian.
yeah. Oh my God, it's
On-
hilarious.
On his podcast, when they do conspiracy theories, the lights like turn blue in its conspiracy corner.
Yeah.
We need something similar to that.
We
here,
do.
'cause This is fun. Okay, question.
Okay.
I've heard the theory that there was some like secret Nazi base in Antarctica. Which one's more likely? Nazi base in Antarctica or U.S. military base on the moon?
I think the former. It has to be, and I mean, Antarctica is at least on this planet.
You're at least able to get to it.
Yeah, and there's other like scientific research bases that are in those spaces too.
There are, yeah.
So no, I could see that being the case, but in relation to the moon, because I like what you said there about how Americans probably feel like we own the moon or something
Some
like
of
that.
the American things.
It really is,
it's ours.
but I mean, I'm asking this semi-rhetorically. But does anybody actually own the moon? Like, how do you go about that? I mean, didn't we get there first? Did we put the flag down? Is it ours?
This is a great question.
Right?
Does that fall? That might be like international law. Like I don't even know if anyone's really mapped out space law yet.
But so if somebody does own the moon, then do we also own the tides of the ocean? Because isn't that controlled by the moon? I mean, are we now
Wait a second.
right?
So there's a thing called the Outer Space Treaty that multiple United Nations members signed during the Cold War, saying that no country can own the moon.
That's just a recommendation.
There's got to be a statute of limitations on that. Somebody's
Yeah.
got to own the moon at some point.
I mean, probably Disney's gonna buy it for a movie or something like that. They'll buy it just to use it as a set, or Mr. Beast will buy it.
Mr. Beast could probably afford it, and he would probably do really cool things on it. On the moon.
Speaking of which, that's a crazy segue. I didn't even mean to do this, but have you seen the video where it cured people's eyesight? Have you seen this?
Where
Newest
Mr.
video?
Beast did?
So Mr. Beast did a video where he gave 1,000 people from different places around the world the LASIK surgery to
Oh,
fix
shit.
their eyesight.
Really?
Yeah, and the one kid was like, the one kid had never driven. He was like 16-year-old kid, like couldn't see.
Wow.
Like, horrible vision. They fixed the vision. Then like Mr. Beast bought him a Tesla.
Oh my God.
This other kid, like he paid for this kid's college because the kid was like, some eyesight like was like impeding his education. And then at the end of it, after he was sitting there with the doctor that was performing the surgeries, he was like, "We're just gonna donate $100,000.
Oh my God.
To you." This guy's something else.
He really is. He's such a success story, and he also says that he's gonna give away all of his money before he dies, right? Isn't that what he says?
So he went on Andrew Schultz's podcast.
Yeah.
That was a great episode because
Yeah.
he talked about a lot of his plans. And yeah, I mean, there's like whenever he dies, all of his boys like put their hand on his tombstone. Like last person to take it off gets the whole channel, gets everything, which is the most Mr. Beast thing ever. Like
It really is.
Make content out of him dying.
Yeah. You'd have to.
He would.
It'll be interesting though
Oh
to
my
see
God.
how he changes with the times, and like obviously right now, like he really has been able to figure out and hone in on algorithms and marketing and branding, and I mean he's absolutely everywhere. But I wonder like how sustainable that is for him, or will there be like another Mr. Beast that kind of takes his place as Mr. Beast, like I don't know.
That's a great question. I kind of think that he might be the next Mr. Beast. He might just keep evolving. He might just because he's broken so many like laws on not like actual broken laws, but like he's broken so many limitations
Right.
that people didn't even know existed.
Right.
He's like buying private islands, giving them away in videos.
He
all sorts of crazy stuff.
I heard him say one time that a good idea for like a YouTube channel to start. And I think that this recommendation is basically a microcosm of what his approach was with his stuff. He said it'd be cool if somebody started a YouTube channel and they started off the channel by just purchasing a few lottery tickets or like scratch offs or something like that. And so you're just videoing yourself scratching off these things. All the money, if any, that you win from that, you put in to buy more tickets, and that you just literally keep videoing yourself scratching off tickets until you actually win big, like win
Whoa.
So like you're self-funding through like YouTube and algorithm and through viewership to keep buying more scratch-offs. And he said that statistically at some point you would have to
yeah,
win.
you'd win eventually after
Yeah.
you bought 1 million tickets,
Yeah.
probably.
Like that'd be, but the concept is crazy
Yeah.
where like you could spend say $5 on a scratch off ticket and just keep reinvesting that money, reinvesting it, and that I feel like that's what Mr. Beast has done. Like he
Right.
has put something in. He was hustling at the beginning, and like with the money that he gives away, and all, like he creates content off of that, and so it pays off for itself. Like it's an investment into his own brand.
Yeah.
And then it also helps people along the way, and that creates attachment and engagement. So it's kind of a brilliant model.
So I think like speaking of something sort of similar to that, Pioneer Records is giving away that Gibson guitar.
Yeah, I saw that. That red one.
$2,000 guitar.
Is it 2,000?
I think it's 2,000. That's what our friend told us. Is like that's a $2,000 guitar.
Okay.
Now it's a $25 buy-in on the raffle. I don't know if there's a limit, but why don't I just buy like $800 worth of raffle tickets? Have a significantly increased chance of winning, get the guitar, and then I can sell it.
Yeah, if you want to risk, $800 for a $1,200 variance.
Well, yeah, but even then, why don't I just put in like 1,000, and then I have a significantly. I don't know if everyone's gonna do that though. That's true. If you lose, that's a serious. It's a big gamble, but like,
It's a big gamble.
why
For
why
sure.
couldn't I just buy like all of the tickets?
You could. I doubt that there's a limit to how many tickets. They're going to want to not cap that off, and
'Cause they're not gonna
ideally,
make money.
Right? They're going to want to make money like more than 2,000 on the guitar. It was gifted to them though, so
It was, yeah.
They're not out that 2,000, but
It's still profit either way.
yeah. And I don't want to be that guy, but I'll be that guy real quick. I didn't know that we could raffle things off like this at Point Park. I thought that there was like a restriction there.
So it's not really like that you have to like compete in a challenge then after you put money in.
Mm.
You have to like
Yeah, there's a loophole that they found.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it's not
Found some
strictly
sort
just
of
like raffling something off. They found a back door.
I like that. Well, good job, Pioneer Records.
Yeah, I like it too. I think it's cool. But yeah, that's the thing. So that's the thing. Like, so you hypothetically could do that with going back to the lottery scratch off ticket thing. You really could just do that.
Yeah.
But he would buy the moon. I mean, Kanye tried to buy the Earth. That was the thing he tried to do, or he wanted to do.
Yeah, but how do you even do? I mean, like, who do you even talk to about that? Nobody owns it. That's Kanye.
Have you seen that clip?
No, I heard that he wanted to do that. Just
It was
like,
when he was on Rogan.
didn't Trump want to buy like Greenland or something like that too at some point?
Yeah, we're just about buying stuff. But whenever this TV's where I wish it was, because we would play that clip right now. You have to just look it up. It's like there's like top 5 moments from individual people. This is a top 5 Kanye moment. He's on Rogan and he's like, "I'm gonna buy the Earth," and Rogan just kind of looks at him like, "Is this real?" And Kanye's just dead serious. Like Rogan tries to Rogan kind of giggles to see if it's like a bit,
Yeah.
and Kanye's not kidding.
I don't know if Kanye does bits anymore. I think that Kanye truly
No.
believes, or Ye, or whatever the hell he goes by, believes in everything that he's saying.
It's all just I mean that one was a bit, and then there's the one where he's like, if you understand the product, you can make money off the product. Like, Gaga is the creative director for Polaroid. I like the Gaga songs, but what does she know about cameras? And it's just like that's one of the funniest.
Artists will get their hands into anything that they can to brand and market and get more revenue streams.
Speaking of that, too, did you see that Prime is now the official sponsored drink of the UFC?
Wow.
Yeah.
I've never even had Prime. Have you?
I have not either, but apparently it's actually really good.
Gavin, have you had it?
no, but apparently it's really big over in the UK.
Yeah,
I've
'cause
heard that.
KSI's over there, and it's huge.
What's over there?
KSI?
What's that?
He's the Logan Paul of
Oh,
the
yeah,
UK,
yeah.
the business partner.
Yeah.
So it's huge over there.
Yeah, I've seen clips of like people standing in line for days to get this.
Yeah, well,
It's like on eBay. Like people in the States are going and buying it and putting it up on eBay so that people in the UK can buy like a bottle for like $200. Is it an energy drink? Is it a
It's
vitamin
an energy
water?
drink. It's sort of like it's a low calorie, high electrolyte type Gatorade thing. It's kind of like a Gatorade.
Okay.
And apparently it's very good. I would be down to try it. Maybe I'll get Logan Paul on the show and I'll try it.
Yeah, hit up Logan. I'm sure
Yeah.
he'd come
He
on
watches
and-
this.
Yeah, he does. What's up? What's up, Logan?
That's a bit that I will never. That's a running bit that I have that like whoever we're talking about if they're famous, they watch the show.
No, of course they
every
will.
time.
Of course
So
they do.
That's just.
And there will be some people maybe that listen that aren't paying attention. They're like, holy shit.
And then
Logan Paul listens to Not Just Politics podcast.
Someone doesn't know.
I always, with
my
Spinning
God.
Thoughts, my podcast, I always tell people that I'll just like randomly tweet out that like a particular band that I don't even know or anything. I'll just be like, the 1975's favorite podcast is Spinning Thoughts. You know, I'll just throw it out there. Because some people are not going to do the research.
You're not gonna know.
But there's not even any research to do there.
No,
I mean, the
there's not even-
1975 very well could like Spinning Thoughts. They could.
But we're not gonna check to find out if that's.
No, there's no
No.
need to check.
There's,
There's no need and really no avenue to do so. And so
That's-
the 1975, if you're watching this, love you.
that's the brilliant part, is you just don't even give them an avenue to research.
Yeah.
You just make it, throw out a claim.
Yeah.
See if it sticks.
Yeah, it's like politics in America lately, huh?
It is.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
That's
We're
all
just
it is.
like, there's no verifiable. We can't prove this.
Yeah.
But we can't. But you can't disprove it. We can't prove it. But we're just gonna take it as fact.
Yep. Yeah, I also throw out the line usually that we're your favorite band's favorite podcast. It's very loose.
That's great.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
So it's just like, wow, they have so big of an audience.
Right, and like
That's amazing.
clearly I have no clue who everybody's favorite band is, but whatever your favorite band is, we, Spinning Thoughts, are your favorite band's favorite podcast.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So
AJR is a big Spinning Thoughts.
they really are. We have actually covered AJR before. I haven't talked to them on the podcast before, but
that would be fucking.
But we've gotten early advances to some of their releases and stuff like
Really?
that. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I love their stuff. They're working on their next album now.
Are they?
I'm very excited.
They're pretty like what, poppy, synthy.
It's like
kinda
indie
stuff.
pop
Yeah.
type stuff. Yeah.
I've been getting into a lot of that lately. All kinds of stuff.
There was a point in time where that was the only music I listened to for probably like a year and a half. They were the only band that I listened to.
AJR.
Yeah,
Okay.
big fan.
You familiar with Indie-tronica, the subgenre?
No.
No?
Indie-tronica?
Yes.
That sort of sounds like a Transformer.
It does.
A little bit.
It does.
I recommend. It's like a synth poppy, indie rock, just blend.
Really? Is it?
Yeah.
Is there like some dubstep in there? Like some of that?
Some like EDM,
EDM?
stuff. Yeah.
Okay, I like that. I like a song. There's oh my god, I can't think of the band. There's a band that is it Said the Sky? They just released an album recently, and they just had a bunch of people featured on the album. One of them is the lead singer of The Maine, and I really like The Maine. The song, I know the song is "Go On Then Love," and that song is great because I love it's like really vibey, poppy, and then in the chorus, like it just kind of drops, and then you get this like synth kind of vibe, like just it rushes through your bones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like about AJR. AJR is like really hoppy. It's like it's all like it's dance music. Even though I
Yeah.
don't dance at all,
Yeah.
it's just great, especially on road trips too. It's great
Mhm.
road trip music, I think.
Yeah.
I just realized that the goal with this was to start time stamping the topics we covered so that I could put it in the YouTube thumbnail, put it in the YouTube videos. How many topics did we just cover in the last 10 minutes?
7 or 8.
And I haven't timestamped any of them. So I'm just going to put a timestamp there, and then I know it. I just have to go through the first 20 minutes and just, there's 8 timestamps there for people to go through. I mean, there's really not that many, but we jumped around a lot.
A little
That's
bit.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, there are so many of the subgenres now in music. They're all just mixing together, which I think is really cool. I like it.
I agree. And a lot of bands, whenever I talk to them, which is often, bands hate being put into a genre corner. They really do.
Yeah, I wouldn't like it either.
Yeah. Being in a band, I've played in bands before, you always have to try to quantify it in some regard, like whether it's for listing on Spotify or, whenever you're going to like try to do like a tour, like you want to try to like, not always align with the same genre. I actually like whenever there's mixed genre bills.
That's cool.
Yeah,
I
I
like
think that's
too.
the best. But yeah, a lot of bands, they really do not like being told that they are a particular genre or.
That's understandable.
Yeah.
I think that's like a lot of it in life. You don't want to. I don't know. I feel like some people just feel safe being in boxes like that, but I don't like it all that much.
I agree. I feel like though there was a good period of time, if not for a majority of like popular culture music, like so let's just say like maybe from like the 50s up until let's just say the 90s or something. Like I feel like a lot of bands like really did lean hard though into being very specific and loyal to their genre. Like and just look at like the late 70s and the 80s with like hair metal and stuff like that. Like I mean that was like a badge of honor to be called a hair metal band, like Poison or who the hell else is a hair metal band, whatever, those kind.
I don't know.
Right?
Yeah, that's not my kind
like
of
the Bon Jovi-ish kind of people.
Yeah.
Like that, kind of like a badge of honor. I think that obviously in the 60s, like pop was, you know, you wanted to be quantified as pop because that's what was getting you onto like the Dick Clark show or whatever it was, and kind of getting you on the radio and getting you these in-store performances. But yeah, now I think the technology has just obviously changed a lot. And on this topic, I believe that, you know, because people can explore different genres too, like musically a lot easier with technology. I mean, one person can sit down behind a computer and put down like an EDM style track, and then, you know, the next song they can just grab an acoustic guitar and play that and be singer-songwriter-ish.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just, the accessibility to evolve and change is strongly there.
It's also possible that back in the day, whenever like pop first became a thing, or funk became a thing, and that was cool, and that was the popular thing, you wanted to be labeled as that.
Right.
But now it's, I'm sure there are still new genres of music that are being invented, but
There are.
do you think there's ever going to be another rock and roll, where it's like, wow, this is this completely new thing we've never really...
Like, you're not saying like a revisitation of rock and roll, but like how rock and roll like in the 50s and 60s like really hit the scene, like the Elvises and the Chuck Berrys and all that, the Rolling Stones and...
Yeah, like a new genre that hits that has that same scene behind it.
Well, I think the one that we've seen most recently is probably like the dancey EDM dubstep kind of stuff. I mean,
And also
technology is
K-pop, I think. got
K-pop,
really popular,
absolutely.
yeah. That's true.
And K-pop is more just, you know, Korean pop music, right? I mean, obviously they bring in the various elements as well. But yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, if I knew what the next like genre that was going to be created was, like I may or may not say it right now so that I could go and cultivate it and become rich as hell, right?
Yeah.
So do I know what the next genre of music that doesn't exist, that will exist be? I don't know. You're going to have to wait and find out. But
I'm not going to steal it from you.
No.
But one of our...
But the
millions of
1975
viewers,
is listening,
Yeah.
and I don't want them to
as
take
are
it.
millions of other people.
Right, like
And currently watching this.
yes, hi, millions of people. So, but no, there will be though new genres for sure, and really, I mean, music, all art is really kind of recyclable and built off of one another. It's like a thing of Legos, you know. So it'll be reflective of something that exists, but probably a reiteration of it. So who knows? But I would like to kind of see like a little bit more revisitation into some genres from the past, you know. I really love like the Jack Whites of the world and everything that are still really going hard with rock and roll and blues. Like I could see blues or jazz really coming back strong in a like fusion kind of way. There's a band called Dance Gavin Dance that is our very own Gavin over here is part of that band, Dance Gavin Dance, and they are like a post-hardcore, hardcore-ish, metalcore-ish band that also fuses in jazz and funk. And I'll tell you, like, they have two vocalists, one who's a clean vocalist and one who's a dirty vocalist that does screaming. And just that dichotomy between the genres and the vocals, like, to me, I love that kind of stuff. And so I could see more fusion genres coming around.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like a lot, people are just putting the word like new, like NU in front of everything, like new punk, new pop punk, new metal, you know. So, yeah.
No, just that. I don't know if you. I just got the board just told me that the SD card is too slow, which I don't even know what that means. And I just clicked OK, and we've still just been rolling. So I don't.
Well, I think we're fine.
I have no idea.
We're gonna find out.
I have no idea what happened to it. But what does too slow even mean?
Didn't really know that an SD card. I mean, I know obviously it has to process like data to an extent, but
Yeah, but I've never got that message before.
is this your own SD card or is this the?
No, this is the one that's just in there.
Yeah.
I actually probably should have just popped ours in, but what are you gonna do? We have the thing to process the footage here, so I don't really need to.
Yeah.
But I think the fusion stuff will probably happen. Yeah, but they'll start putting new in for that. It's just
Right.
kind of funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you're a pop. I'm new pop.
New pop, exactly. It's like
Step-
what's so
step
new
down.
about it? Yeah.
It's time for us to take over. It's just
Exactly.
the same thing, just name it something new. I mean, that's kind of like what we kind of already do that a ton, like FIFA,
Yeah.
the game.
Yeah.
Come on,
It's the same
it's
damn
the same game
yeah.
every
Just
year.
different
It's
rosters.
the same game. Pokemon, same thing.
Yeah.
It's the same game, but they're good and we love them.
Oh,
so I mean, I don't really love FIFA. Pokemon's okay, I guess.
Oh, I love Pokemon. I'm a Pokemon apologist. I will buy and play every single Pokemon game ever. And yes, some of them are very repetitive, if not most of them are. The more recent ones that came out, Pokemon Arceus, and that was back in January of 22, and then toward the back end of 22 was Scarlet and Violet.
Yes, which I heard was okay.
So yeah, I really liked. I got Violet, and I really liked it. But the internet was going crazy because it was glitchy as hell. And you know, you would think Game Freak, who is a massive. I mean, all they do is really Pokemon. So like, all they have to focus is on this. And inherently, Pokemon doesn't try to like boast heavy graphics or frame rates or anything. So it's not like they're trying to push the limit there. But it was still very glitchy. A lot of problems. But at the core of it, I thought it was a great game. It was open world. Which was kind of like how Arceus was too, but still in a different vein. But Scarlet and Violet was literally like a Pokemon open world game where you're going around, you're riding on a Pokemon, you're throwing Pokeballs at things, you're battling trainers, you're going to gyms. Yeah, well that's like Pokemon Go.
I never played I played Pokemon Go, I think one time, but whenever it first got popular, I had an iPod at the time, not an iPhone.
What the hell is an iPod?
I know. The kids now will never know what that was like.
Oh,
but I had an iPod that didn't have data, so I couldn't play out on the go.
Can you believe that? There was a time where that shit was going on?
Well, there was a time when they just weren't a thing.
I know.
So that's even crazier to me.
This may come as a surprise to some people, but I've recently been watching, for the first time ever, Gilmore Girls.
Really?
Yeah. And, yeah, it's pretty good.
I've never watched it.
Yeah, no, it's good. Good character development, good story. Mother and daughter kind of living on their own and navigating life and exploring relationships. And
So it's kind of like The Mandalorian.
I didn't see The Mandalorian.
Oh, the running joke was that was like a single father protecting his son. Like
Basically.
with Grogu.
Basically, I guess. But so I've been watching Gilmore Girls, and I guess this was filmed and shot like early 2000s.
Yeah.
And I keep getting tripped up because of some of the technology that is in this show.
Like, where's their iPad Air Pro Plus Max?
Right, like the one time they went to a library, and I was like...
What is that?
Yeah, like they were looking for an answer to something, and I literally said out loud, like, why don't you Google it? Like, what are we going to a library for? Why?
Google it.
And then, like, they're using, like, these Nokia phones that, like, have buttons on it.
That survived Hiroshima. It was like indestructible. The only thing that survived was the Nokia phones.
Yep.
They're
Yep.
just
The cockroaches of technology.
They've been ran over by trucks. They've been
Yep.
blown up. That was like they just built the nuclear test facilities out of Nokia. Just like taped them to the walls because it
Yep.
just contained the blast.
Yeah, they are pretty. They can barely do anything, which is maybe why they're indestructible.
Yeah.
Because all they do is.
I never had one.
Yeah.
That was they were kind of out of there before.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
When I ended up getting a phone.
And then also in the show too, like somebody had a pager. Does anybody out there know what a pager is?
I actually do. My mom has one for work, but she works in a hospital, so like
That makes sense.
But if she wouldn't have it, I would have no idea.
Technology, it's crazy,
Yeah,
and it
that's
just
nuts.
keeps rapidly evolving and on top of each other. I think in 10 years it's going to be crazy what we have.
Who knows what we're gonna have? Elon's gonna figure out the brain chip in the next couple of years, and I'm not gonna get it.
I'm not going to get it either.
That's okay.
Yeah.
We'll
But
say that now until they mandate it.
well, that's a whole nother can of worms. That's a problem for later us.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a total us problem.
We all saw, you know, over the last couple of years what mandating something in your body does to people, right? Like in terms of just social upheaval and
Yeah.
discontent or whatever. So yeah, I don't know.
That would not be a good idea, but I would not be surprised if they tried it.
Of course.
Well, would they? This is a whole nother thing. I guess I better put a new timestamp in. I better put a new timestamp in. No, I was gonna say before we jump to that, I was gonna say, speaking of like the video game company thing that's kind of glitchy.
Yeah.
The new Marvel Midnight Suns came out, which is that relatively new game that Firaxis made.
Yeah.
Are you aware of the XCOM games? We talked about
Yeah.
this in class.
Yeah.
That game is so good.
Yeah, I haven't played
It
it.
is so good. And XCOM, I think the problem with XCOM was that it's
That's the tactical.
tactical,
Yeah.
like you're turn-based,
Yeah,
and moving
yeah,
your
yeah.
guys around. The problem with XCOM was that I keep going back and trying to play it because I genuinely love that game. It is so good.
Yeah.
But, you know, I go to jump into a mission, none of my guys spawn it. And it was like 10 minutes of just like the screen is zoomed in on where my squad is supposed to be, and there's no one there.
Yeah.
And I can click through, and the interface, the UI shows me like selecting my characters. and they're just not there. And then I'll go to like throw a grenade, and like the grenade will just disappear and not explode. Or I'll go to click end turn, and 20 minutes later, finally I get. So it's so glitchy. It's just because there was too much going on.
Yeah.
I heard someone argue that they should have just done the same concept for a game, but just on like a chessboard type thing, where it's not even like three. You just get a total top-down view, and that's all it is.
Yeah.
Which would have been a lot easier, but they decided to make you be able to rotate the screen and zoom in and zoom out. But Firaxis fixed all of that with Midnight Suns.
Really?
Like, it's not as large of a scale, to be fair, but I haven't run into any glitches with that game. They really cleaned it up.
Yeah, I think that a lot of game developers are getting a little, like, ahead of themselves with some of this stuff. Like, I get that, like, the consumer base gets desensitized pretty quickly. You see it all over the place. A band drops an album, a fan listens to it one time, and then they're tweeting out, when are you making another album? And it's like,
That
yeah,
is
it
one
just
of the
took us
problems.
2 years to do this.
That is one of the problems. Yeah, I
Right.
saw a thing on Instagram where it was like, oh, the second Batman movie with Robert Pattinson, 2025, and I was like, what the fuck? I gotta wait two. But
Right.
then in my brain it was like, oh, we waited. Well, how many years was it until the second Avatar movie?
Oh my god.
Over
It's
10.
been so
Over
long,
10 years,
right?
Right. So that's and I had to like slow down and take it back and go, oh, it's not really that long. I'll be okay. I'm pretty sure the gaps between the Nolan movies were about that same length, but they were all made by the time I was watching, so I didn't have to wait for anything.
Yeah, no, I mean, all kinds of content creators, or when I say content, I mean like large media creators, movies, video
Game
games.
developers, yeah.
They're all like teasing things so many years in advance.
GTA, when are we gonna get?
Oh my god.
The comments I think were like Batman 2 or GTA 6, which one's first? Like that kind of thing.
I mean, there's been some leaks in the last 6 months or so
There
for
has.
GTA 6
Yeah.
and everything, like some like early on in development, like screen grabs and things like that. I mean, I can't imagine that they're gonna like change too much with it. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure it'll look great and run hopefully nice like on new gen consoles and stuff, but I would just love a new, storyline and new setting and new cars and new missions and just.
It'll be the first GTA game that I'll ever played.
You've never played GTA? Ever?
No.
Holy
Never.
shit! You didn't even like check out the like remasters of what was it, Vice City,
I watched
San Andreas, and what was the other
The
one? GTA 3.
remasters, the remasters they came out with in 2022 are hysterical. The graphics.
Yeah,
like,
that's another.
The graphics looked like worse than the original.
Terrible.
Everything was a downgrade.
Oh, it was. Yeah. Yeah.
I watch people play GTA 5, but I've never played it.
Speaking of GTA 5, there is something about. So, I think GTA 5 and Grand Theft Auto in general is just a really fucking cool game. I can say fuck on here, right?
Yeah, we swear. Yeah, it's okay.
Cool.
You're allowed to.
Fuck.
That's what you were gonna do it. I was gonna do it. One of us is going to.
Something that I find insanely intriguing. For some reason, I feel like I've talked about this, probably not to you before, but GTA 5 has like this fan-built, I don't even know what you call it, like where people actually assume different roles. There's a name for it, and for some, like a role-playing.
Role-playing game.
Yeah, like where it's like it's fan-built basically, and people like go onto servers and like assume roles as like a police officer, and they're like sitting in a police cruiser like doing like speed checks and pulling over people, and like who are real other gamers like just playing
on
and living.
the online.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
it's so crazy.
That's the beauty of it. You can do whatever you want.
I know, and I feel like all of that on top of just the standard online that GTA actually pushes out, like they just keep adding content to it too. So and GTA 5 is still like I don't know where it's grossing its money at, like in
Shark
top-
cards.
What's that?
Shark cards.
Shark cards?
Yeah, so it's this in-game like purchase for like in-game money.
Yeah.
So you have to like pay like either like $20 or $100 for like either like $500,000 in game,
Oh my
or
God.
some $1 million in game, or $2 million.
That's where all the money comes from. It's kind of like what EA does. EA takes something really good.
Yeah.
And then that's what they do. They're really good at. They also listen to the show. And this
EA,
is my
yeah.
time to give them their critique. They take something good like Star Wars Battlefront 2 and they like to ruin it. where you gotta play 40 hours of the game just to unlock Kylo Ren, and then you gotta, or you can buy
It's a
everyone
grind
for
session.
$200.
Yeah.
And now the new Battle Pass thing, I hate Fortnite for making Battle Passes popular because it's infected every genre of game,
Yep.
except for the little indie games on Steam that I am currently into my indie game. I kind of have been for the last like 3 years, but I love going on Steam, finding a game that was made by a small group of people. It's $3, and it gets like 96% overwhelmingly positive reviews.
Yep. Yep.
And those games are the ones that I've been playing recently.
I'm into that too. I lean hard into the Switch. I just like the mobility of it all,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's a great system for indie developers and indie games.
Oh, yeah.
Over the winter holiday, Cubic Games, I believe, they every year or the last couple of years they've been doing this thing where they do like this 12 days of Christmas thing where you buy the first. They release a game a day for free, as long as you buy the first one. So on day one they discount a game really low, $1.99 or something like that.
Right.
You buy it. Then on day two, if you have that game, then you get that day two game for free.
Wow.
Then on day three, if you have day 1 and 2 games, you get day 3 free. So it's kind of a cool model if you think about it. I'm going to break this thing. I'm going to break it. I shouldn't have touched it.
You gotta not mess with it at all.
I know, seriously. But it's a brilliant model because I wanted to get all 12 games, and they boast that like the last on day 12 that it's going to be this massive game, that you get for free. So like I had gotten day 1, 2, and 3, and then I forgot to I forgot to get the free game on day 4. So then on day 5, I couldn't get the day 5 game for free unless I went back and bought the day 4 game. So I ended up buying 2 or 3 games throughout the 12 games of Christmas because I wanted to keep getting the free ones. So it's a cool model for sure. And right now, Cubic Games actually has like this massive sale where like over 50 of their games are like 50 cents or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I love it. Yeah. Indie gamers and indie game development is on the rise, and I think it's going to continue to grow. It's kind of like podcasting is like independent media. In music, you got a lot of people who are indie artists or DIY artists, and in gaming now we're starting to see the technology be readily accessible for just individuals to make a game. The people who made Cuphead, there was 2 people who did it. Two people.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that game's gorgeous.
And I've never played it because I get angry at games easily.
Yeah, it's hard as hell. I've only gotten through 3 bosses on it, and I just enjoyed my Switch too much to throw it across the room.
But you would have if you didn't like the Switch as much.
I would have thrown
it.
it.
Launched it.
I actually have 3 Switches, so in theory, I do. I could technically throw one and still have 2 left and be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe I will. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe today. I'll go home and throw one of my Switches.
Film that.
I will, and I'll give it to you, and we'll show it to.
We'll put it on YouTube as like a little side piece of content. Angela just launches it.
Well, what we should do, if we want to be smart with our content creation, what we should do is we should post something that says if it gets over X amount of views or something, then Angelo will throw and destroy his Switch.
This guy's thinking, if this gets...
Right?
If this gets...
This episode.
500,000.
500,000 views. If this video, world, I'm telling you right now, if this video gets 500,000 views on whatever platform, I don't care what platform it is, if it's verifiable.
Is it cumulative? Or on one platform?
I'll do cumulative.
Okay, we'll do cumulative.
I'll do cumulative. So if we get over 500,000 impressions or engagements on this interview,
right,
I will take one of my 3 Switches. I will pick which one I throw, because
you know which one.
I already know which one I throw.
Right.
But I will throw one of them. And really, we could even just like throw it off of one of these buildings downtown. We could launch it into the river. We could go on the incline and just chuck it off the side and watch it fly like a frisbee. Huh? What do we think, guys? 500,000. So let's make it happen.
So I'm a big fan of the Mount Washington idea.
Okay.
And just launch it.
Let's do it. And then we could go to like a nice fancy dinner after.
You know what would be actually so fun? I don't know if this really translates into like a podcast thing.
Okay.
But if that TV works and has HDMI input, we play Mario Kart or Super Smash Brothers. Next time we're here.
please, because I would love nothing more than to show all of your fans and listeners how much I'm going to kick your ass in that.
In Mario Kart?
Either.
Okay, in Smash Bros. You have me easily. I haven't played Mario Kart with you, so I don't know how good you are at Mario Kart.
Just trust me, I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Just trust me. I'm also.
Oh, okay.
That's the only actual.
Who do you ride as though? That's the key.
I'm a shy guy. I'm a shy guy character, and I use the bitty buggy with the
Okay.
roller wheels.
Okay. I am Baby Mario,
Okay.
and I am I use the high roll bike.
What the heck? It keeps telling me the SD card is too slow. What does that even mean?
I don't know. Is this still recording?
Yeah, we're at 47 gigabytes out of 53. Is that a little bit of a problem? I don't know how much.
47 out of 53. It's saying. Does that mean that we still have 47 gigs
No,
left?
we
or
have
it's-
like 6 or 7.
Monitor it and see how quickly it goes down.
Yeah, it said it. There it is again. Oh my gosh. I really hope this audio isn't just completely. I've never seen this before.
Do we want to? Just an idea? Do we want to pause this and make sure it's all there and either switch out an SD and then
Yeah,
combine these?
I almost
or-
want to just put our own SD card in there. We'll be back in a second here, folks. I'm sorry about this. I don't know what's going on with it. Maybe it is because it's. Is it because it's full?
I don't know. I doubt because it's full they'd be running slower, but
Do you want to just keep cameras running?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll just keep cameras running. This is so strange. I don't know. Do you want to just start processing the footage on this one?
I guess.
Or I mean, yeah, I didn't want to do this, but I don't know what's going on with it.
I don't know why they don't wipe their card. It's
That part's annoying. We need to just reporting our own card in there. Just bring our own. We'll start using our own board every time.
And did you bring your board? Is that what's over
Yeah,
there?
the board is in there. Yeah.
Did it come with that case?
No, I got that case for everything. Yeah. Yeah, this is the card from theirs. This is the one that they have. Oh yeah, it's different because we have a 128, they have a 64. That's a little annoying. You know, from now on we'll just use our own board. That's because we have our sound bites on there anyway. Hopefully that fixes it. Okay, you ready? I'm about to hit record again. We're about to be back.
Oh, sorry. Yep. Yep.
We're back.
We're back. We're back.
How are those fold? We're back. Sorry, folks. We
We're-
had
we are
to
back.
switch out an SD card. It was being a little goofy on us. I hope that audio is okay. It will be. It'll be fine. How's that flip phone? I don't know what we were talking about. We were talking about Mario Kart.
We were talking about Mario Kart. I don't blame you for wanting to navigate away from that conversation because I was coming at you pretty hard. I also think that you were intimidated by my Baby Mario power move.
Listen, I was intimidating. Listen, I will say this: I'm not good at any competitive. You know what's so funny is people think I'm on People think I'm on one of the esports. They're like, "What do you play on at esports?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "Buddy, nothing.
Nothing.
I'm not good at any of these games.
I
Not
played the
good
camera.
enough." Yeah, exactly. I just tell them, I don't. I'm not good enough at any of these games to actually play. I will say this: Mario Kart is the only multiplayer competitive game that I am decent at. It's the only
Well, I
one.
thought you said earlier you were really good. You're starting to move back a little bit. Now
Well,
you're decent.
I am really good, but every time I do say that, there's always someone there that can beat me.
Yeah, I think he's in the room right now. But to answer your question about the foldable phone,
That's me. That's the Mario Kart turnout.
brilliant.
But next time you're here, I'll bring my Switch and I'll bring controllers.
I actually, this should surprise nobody who knows me at all, but I actually bring a Switch with me every day to work. Yeah,
That's awesome.
And usually I bring a dock
Jeez.
and everything as well because in my office that we were talking about earlier in this episode, I do have a flat screen TV in there. Sometimes I'll hook up the Switch, and
That's awesome.
yeah, if I'm in a student conduct hearing with somebody, and they get a little feisty with me, we just have to take it out on the court. You know what I mean? So we
That's awesome.
we strap up, we get behind the wheel, and whoever can win a 3-lap race wins the conduct hearing.
That's awesome. Hey Gavin, could you pass me my Yeti? It's right there in my backpack. Thank you, sir. I should have brought that over with me. I always forget
That's
that I
okay.
need water sometimes.
Hey, sometimes you do.
Thank you, sir.
Sometimes you do. But
Not sponsored by any of the
No.
stickers on my Yeti. None
No.
of these are. I would love to be sponsored by some of these people, to be honest.
birds aren't real.
Yeah, this is a funny one. Our roommate loves this.
What's it? What is it?
So I don't actually. So here's the thing. It's a meme apparently.
Okay.
It's like, oh, the birds are government drones.
Oh.
But I looked into it, and apparently I did not know this. Now my mic is starting to fall over.
Yeah.
Oh boy,
Yeah.
here we go.
Yeah.
Now it's jumped over to mine. Your mic is okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll just have to sit up a little. I should maybe be doing that anyway. But so I looked into it, and I guess, let me timestamp this. I'm supposed to be timestamping. I'll just have to rewatch the episode at this point, which is fine. But no, so apparently, I thought it was just a meme that's like, oh, it's like birds aren't real type thing. But I actually learned that it was a counter movement. So like, okay, there were like, I guess like, not to get political on this podcast, which I totally haven't done before. But apparently there were like right-wing protests that were happening, and this kid showed up and just decided to counter the madness with more madness. So he would just be like, I'm just gonna like double down on the absurdity.
Yeah.
And just be like, well, none of the birds are real. Which like I'm kind of a fan of.
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna, and then I have a couple. Like this is the clown face that the Joker was wearing in Batman Begins.
Yeah.
Or no, the Dark Knight. I'm sorry.
Why does that look like Fetterman? Doesn't it? Is it? Is it supposed to be a? Doesn't it? Doesn't it? Doesn't it?
It does look like that.
Doesn't it?
Show it to the camera.
It looks like Fetterman a little bit.
Doesn't it? Throw some cargo shorts on that, and it's Fetterman.
It's Fetterman. Did you get it? I have never seen that before.
And now you'll never unsee it.
And
I'm
now I'll
telling
never
you.
unsee it.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
no. Oh
Fetterman.
gosh. It's our current senator. And then
Yep.
obviously I have a Bridge USA sticker.
Gotcha.
And then I have a West Side disc because I'm a disc golf guy. So this is a West Side disc that I got with something that I ordered. But I want to start getting more to cover this up, I guess, which is kind of like a basic thing to do, but it's kind of fun. Like I get to, cover it. And then people kind of know that it's mine, right? Like
Exactly.
if someone finds this, they'll know that, because the Bridge USA sticker, they'll probably know that it's mine.
You know, I want to talk about something that you just said about this being basic, right? So I feel like a lot of people in life, I'm glad that you're doing something quote unquote basic, because I feel like people these days refrain from doing things that they like to do that give them happiness or joy or create a distraction because it seems like basic or it seems cliche or something. There's reasons why things are cliche or basic or wildly popular because it brings a vast amount of joy. I would challenge people out there listening to do the things that you love, do the things that you like to do, whether one person does it or everybody does it. You know, don't worry about that kind of stuff. If you want to stick stickers on your Yeti, you do it.
I like that a lot. No, I think so. It's like, I kind of said it was like a basic thing, but I do actually like doing it. I did actually kind of go out of my way to acquire some of these so that I could put one on my Yeti and eventually fill it up. Like my brother did that with the back of his laptop, which is now the one that I because he didn't need it anymore.
Yeah.
And it's just got a bunch of stickers on the back. And I've actually added a few because it is actually kind of fun. Like you can just go to, okay, I have a story. Speaking of stickers.
Okay.
So I worked landscaping over the summer for my cousin's landscaping company, and so I would just kind of go with people they just need, because I don't actually know how to really do anything. I can operate some of the smaller machines, and I obviously know like shovel and that kind of thing, but I'm not like mixing and laying concrete or any of that kind of thing.
Right.
But so I was out there with one of the guys, and we were just doing whatever. We were putting in trees, and we were eating lunch in his truck, and this guy, I mean, he's a good guy. I like him. He's kind of quiet, that kind of thing. But on the side of the lunchbox, giant "Let's Go Brandon" sticker, like the biggest. And then on the other side, the AR-15 that has the American flag print sticker, giant.
Yeah.
And I always thought the "Let's Go Brandon" thing was fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Like it's the corniest shit ever.
It
And
is.
it was just funny to me. I was like, this is just like, this cannot be real.
It is funny. People who lean into it, like, for real, concern me slightly, but...
Yeah, that part is... it's like, I always took it as, like, the meme. Like, we actually went to a football game. I went to a football game my first semester here. It was, like...
Like a Steelers game?
Steelers game, yeah. I went to a Steelers game against the Bears.
Okay.
And there was a gentleman outside Heinz Field selling "Let's Go Brandon" t-shirts for $20, and I may or may not have purchased one. As a joke, and I never wore it seriously, but I still have it. I don't think I'll ever actually wear it anywhere because it's a joke to me.
Well, don't wear it around here.
No, certainly not. I thought I was like, it would be funny if like whenever I was in SGA, the very first meeting I show up to, I wore that. But like but that's not really who I am. Like people wouldn't know that I was joking. But either way, at any event. So I was like, oh, I like your sticker. Like, that's pretty funny. And he goes, do you want one? And I was like, what are you talking? And he goes into his glove box. And he's, Amazon sells the randomized sticker packs,
Yeah.
25 different Let's Go Brandon stickers. in the glove box of his truck that he goes to work with him everywhere.
Yeah.
And did I take one? I absolutely did.
Of course.
It didn't make it onto anything.
No.
It never made it onto the Yeti. It didn't make it onto the laptop because you gotta be careful around here.
You do.
But
You do.
because if people knew that I was joking, I would have definitely put it on there. But not around here, probably.
No.
But it was very funny. I still laugh at that story, the fact that he just had them on the ready.
Yeah. I had a student in one of my University 101 classes, not last year, but a couple years previous, and he wanted to do a social experiment where he wore a Make America Great Again red hat
Yep.
around campus. This is somebody who was openly a progressive, liberal individual, but just wanted to.
Really?
Yeah.
This is so interesting.
I know. Because typically, you see people who are conservative and whatnot really just loving to wear that red hat around and just kind of get on people's nerves and stuff. But yeah, this is somebody who didn't subscribe to that president or anything like that, but just wanted to kind of do a social experiment to see, okay, if a liberal, obviously nobody knows you're a liberal, right?
Right.
We just judge people by what they're wearing and what they do and what they look like.
We don't talk to anybody about it. We
Exactly.
just assume the worst of them.
Exactly. So and that's basically what I think he was trying to do was, how many people would come up to him and ask him about the hat or have a civil conversation about why he was wearing the hat versus how many people would flick him off or scream like, fuck you, or whatever it was.
Did he actually go through with this?
He did. He did. And
Really? Can
Yeah.
you tell me who this person is off air?
Yeah, I can.
Because I want to talk to this person now.
Yeah.
Do I know this person?
Probably not.
Okay.
No. I think
Wow,
they're
that's
about-
really interesting.
I think they're about to graduate.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, so then he actually did. So what were the results? Do you know the results of when he actually did this?
It's all anecdotal. Like, he didn't write down the data and stuff like that.
I
but-
would have recorded it.
I know.
would've,
Yeah, he didn't
written it
record
down
it or anything like that. I think he just wanted to do it.
to see.
Yeah, and I from what I understand of my memory, I believe that it was the exact results that you would think it would be, where people around campus and around the city of Pittsburgh area where he was at, which was really just right here at Point Park's campus. Yeah, they just
They were not too happy about
no,
that.
Not at all.
Just screaming at him.
Yeah.
Good. Good. Not really, but good.
Yeah, and if
on par for the course.
Right. If somebody would have walked up to him and be like, "Yo, dude, do you really subscribe to Donald Trump and Make America Great Again?" He would have been like, "No."
It's just a social experiment.
Yeah, no, I'm into the
Wow.
progressive movement, but I just wanted to see
what you would do.
Right, but and that model kind of reminds me a little bit of the two of you, with what you want to do by affiliating yourself with Bridge and everything, because again, this is somebody who wasn't trying to really stir the pot. This is somebody who didn't even believe or subscribe to the Trump presidency and the policies and all that kind of stuff, but still wanted to kind of prove a point that it's we're regardless of whatever side of the political aisle that you land on, we're all pretty brutal to each other.
Yeah.
And we're all judging everybody, and we jump to these conclusions. So yeah, it was an interesting little.
That's really great.
experiment.
I wonder because that takes a certain kind of person to want to do that.
Yeah, it's masochistic almost. You know what I mean?
And just to want to try to figure out what kind of reaction that would be, to kind of put himself in the shoes of those people in a
Yeah.
way. That's really cool. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
I would really. I wish I could have been there, because I would have been yo, can I be a part of this? Can I help you? Can I film it? Can we do something?
Yeah.
Because, wow.
Yeah, this had to have been a couple years ago. I think he was a freshman at the time, so I really admired it, because I was like, yo, you could really screw up,
No, seriously.
your reputation or the way that people view you around here. So
Yeah, that's kind of what I've been thinking. I'm like, when's the first time someone's gonna assume? Because I think people kind of know me at this point as the guy that talks about politics.
yeah,
Which is fine. That's it is what I do. I can't deny that. It was so funny.
The guy in the Captain America shirt that has the
Oh,
politics
have I told you about
podcast.
this?
no,
Okay, do you know there's an Instagram page? We're jumping around. I got to do another timestamp, even though at this point they're meaningless because I have no idea what's going on. But so there's an Instagram page called PPU Missed Connections.
Oh,
Are
I
you
know
aware
about
of
this.
You know about this?
oh, I know more about this than I want to know.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
So I made it on there
recently,
this semester.
okay,
Yes. I just gotta pull it up.
Pull it up. As you're pulling this up,
It's
let me
so-
tell you why I know about PPU misconnections. So first of all, one of the things that I do here at Point Park is I do run the conduct office.
Yes, you do.
So I've had these misconnections at times brought to my attention.
No.
Yeah, for sure. But on a more humorous level, every year at the end of the spring semester, Student Affairs and Student Life puts on something called the OSAs. What is that even called? The something Student Awards? Why don't I know that? What does OSA stand for?
That's a great
Outstanding. It stands for outstanding. So we put on this Outstanding Student Awards ceremony.
Right.
Different athletes, student leaders from CAB, SGA, Student Affairs, Student Life. Everybody kind of goes to this fancy little dinner. It's like a banquet. People end up winning different awards for their outstanding student leadership, right?
Yeah.
And we try to make it a little entertaining, and so there's different skits and whatnot that go on. I was asked to do a skit where, and so what I ended up doing was I went up, I had created a presentation where I actually pulled real live misconnections from the Instagram and read them to the crowd. So here I am, like, guys, I'm the director of student conduct, and it's been brought to my attention that there's this PPU misconnections page. I'd like to read some of them to you right now. And so, like, I'm reading these out loud. Students are cracking up. I could tell some of them probably were the ones who posted it or were the ones that, were in the scenario. But then I also made up some of my own just random misconnections and threw them in there to kind of prove a point of how ridiculous some of these were.
Oh, they're absurd.
They are. Like, I was just
They're
coming up with ridiculous ones. So it was a good time. There's video of it too, somewhere.
Can you do the viewers a favor? Can you read this one?
Yeah.
For us? Can you read this one?
Of course I can. Why is your brain... Okay, here we go. All right, so this is PPU misconnections. To that bearded boy who does that political podcast and always wears that Captain America shirt, you're so cute. 3 swirling heart emojis.
Yeah, that's definitely Brecken.
Okay,
now
listen,
that I really
listen.
think about that.
You think Brecken Farrell...
Yeah,
I posted
100%.
that, huh?
Brecken's our buddy from class, and we
Brecken,
think, listen,
what up?
okay, listen. This cannot be real. There's no way there's a student that actually posted this, because here's the thing. I've since retired the Captain America t-shirt.
Yeah.
But, like, and yeah, I kind of wore it like it was a comfy t-shirt, whatever. But, like, I didn't wear it that, and I never wore it on the podcast. I didn't wear it on a single episode of the podcast.
You're just making a name for yourself here.
So I'm pretty convinced it was one of the boys.
Sorry,
that
I
was
kept
just-
looking at those.
No, they're great. But listen, I think it's one of the boys that was just fucking with me.
Yeah.
Which it makes it even funnier to
It
me
does,
because
it does.
I asked all of them, and if they did this, they're really good at lying.
Yeah.
They're really good because I was convinced the moment that it wasn't actually them. But that's hilarious. Yeah, but I think I've kind of like, at this point, because that's who I am. I'm like the guy that has the political podcast.
Yeah.
But I'm waiting for someone to like, and not that I want this to happen, but I'm waiting for someone to like assume what I believe.
Yeah.
To be like, oh, he's that. Yeah, he had Logan Dubell on his show.
Right.
Which I'm surprised that no one. Not that I need to like try to start this happening, but
right.
like, I don't think that many people saw, but I'm surprised that no one really had anything to say.
I mean, I'm kind of surprised too.
I expected at least like one like sort of unhappy DM being like, why didn't you? But nothing.
Yeah, well, there's always a chance for that to happen. Just maybe now the millions of listeners.
Perhaps, yeah,
check it out.
I may have just started it, and maybe I didn't need to bring that up. But even then, I was like, part of me was kind of happy about that, thinking, maybe people saw it and just didn't care.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, you and I talked about, that interview, and I'm glad that you had Logan on. I think that it's good to engage people from different political backgrounds and different views, and we should give respect to hear what everybody has to say.
And sorry, he's a nice guy.
Logan is a nice guy.
It's not, and I respect the hustle, and he's a legitimate journalist, so
Yeah.
none other things other than that. But at any rate, yeah, I mean, that's kind of, I don't know. So I wanted to talk to you about something. I've kind of had this feeling for a little bit, but I don't really know if it's I don't know if it's real. I've known this school's cliquey since the moment I got here. I am, like, you know me, I'm not exactly an introverted person.
Right.
I've never found it to be this difficult to go out and meet people and make new friends as to when I got here.
Yeah.
I was like, where are all the people? It's like everyone immediately found their little group and they
Yeah.
just closed it off and that was it. And I also feel like that's sort of how it is with the institutions on this campus. I think that this school presents students with legitimately a great media opportunity.
Yeah.
You get to run your own podcast, your own radio show, you get to be involved with student TV, you get to write for the student newspaper, and I don't think anyone on this campus actually cares.
Yeah, no, there's...
They care about the opportunities, they don't care to actually engage with it.
Correct.
How many readers does the Globe get? Because I would not be surprised if it was extremely low. Same thing with UVU and WPPJ and...
Well, I mean, I
Tiny
just
record.
talked to somebody about this the other day, and I'm trying to remember who I talked to about this. I remember who it is, but I won't say the names. They know if they're listening. There were two people that I was just talking to recently who wanted to get some advice from me on creating a podcast, and they have a radio show on WPPJ, and we were talking about how if you have a show on WPPJ, you don't ever get any insight on the analytics or the engagement, like how many people tuned in and listened. Like, that's important stuff to know in content creation. We're an institution of higher learning. Why aren't we giving students semblance and insight into these numbers? Like, if somebody's not getting any engagement, they need to know.
Yeah.
Maybe they need to change their approach. If somebody's doing really, really well and getting a lot of listeners, first of all, they should know and feel good about that. And why aren't we pushing that then? And why is it that there's never a TV on with students on the news, like doing any of that?
You know, there's a TV in Lawrence when you walk across Skybridge. There's TVs all around campus. Why are we not? I don't know, because I just, and I don't
They
think
show
this is.
club ads for the most part.
We,
That's
there's,
basically
why does
or
every club
COPA
get a chance to make an
events.
ad that goes on UV or WPPJ? Every single club should be able to get an ad.
I agree. Why is there no feed of WPPJ that's live on campus, like in the perk or
There
something like
used
that?
to be. There used at the cafe not last semester, but last spring semester they had the radio playing in like the little lounge in the cafe.
Yeah,
Dude, why isn't it playing?
right.
I just feel like the institutions have gotten cliquey.
Yeah.
And I don't act, and I'll be honest, I'll say this, and I don't care who's listening. Like, I make the joke that all the people listen. I genuinely don't care who hears this. I don't really feel a sense of community here.
Yeah.
I feel a sense of community with the people that I have had on this show and the
Yeah.
people that I interact with.
Yeah.
That's my community, and I'm trying to make that community bigger. I'm trying to get people from different clubs to come on here so that I can collaborate with them, because every single club has retention problems. Every
Yeah.
single club can't get people to show up.
Yeah.
I wonder how many people I know you grab the Globe, I grab it sometimes. I know people say they grab it whenever there's an interesting headline. But do students know how many people read their articles, especially on the website? There's just no, like you said, there's no analytics. That
I
part
know.
alone would be a start. But
Well,
why are we
it-
not doing collaborations together?
Yeah, no, I know. Like, analytics, like, truly in media and content creation is king. Like, it is paramount. So to not have access to that, I think is a disservice. But another conversation that I hear about a lot is like a lack of support for the athletic teams and everything.
Yeah.
And there is a lack of support. Now, there's a myriad of reasons. I mean, the fact that most of these sports do not play on our campus hurts.
Is a big thing.
Right.
Yeah.
But why are we not streaming these, like, the basketball games? Why are they not on TV around campus being streamed? Why?
They
I
should
actually think that there's a fee. I think you have to pay to watch the stream. If you go to the basketball game in person, it's free. But I think to watch the stream of it, that it costs you. Why? Why are we not streaming that around campus? It really doesn't make any sense. Like you're kind of saying, I think, and I subscribe to it. There's a ton of media opportunities here. There's a ton of content creation opportunities. There's a ton of athletic opportunities here too. But everybody's living in their own silo. Everybody wants people to support them, but they don't want to support other people and what they're doing.
I think it's the idea of like, oh, if I give that to people, it takes away from me, which has been proved to be wrong.
Right.
Like Rogan proved that to be wrong.
Right.
Rogan proved that if you bring everybody up with you,
Right.
everybody gets bigger.
Absolutely.
Like all of the top comedians that are around right now are there because of Rogan.
Yeah.
He put them at the Comedy Store, had them on the podcast. He built they all built each other up.
Yep.
And this is something that I want to do, but I just don't know where to start doing it. Like I want to start going to the Globe and being like, yo, how many people do actually read your paper? Like how many, when you guys put out the editions, I'm sure you're collecting the previous week whenever you go put the current one out, because
Yeah.
they're not all being grabbed. How many people are grabbing your paper? How many people are listening to, watching YouView? Because that's a legitimate TV opportunity, and there's no collaborations.
it's a shame that students don't have insight into that. It would be catastrophically a shame if the people that run these entities don't have insight to it. Like, you know
Oh my
what I
God,
mean?
they have to. If they don't, but that's what I want to start doing. That's like, you know, I sit there in my bed at night and like I get into big ideas when I'm like, oh, what if I could do this?
Yep.
And that was the next one. Like my current idea is that, like I told this to you, I want to sit down with the politically moderate and the politically conservative students on this campus, and I just want to talk to them about their experience.
Yeah.
And if they'll let me, I want to record it and I want to put it on YouTube and I want people to see it because I want their stories to come out because I'm sure some of them are not very pleasant.
No.
And I'm sure some of them are just them staying quiet the whole time, which I also don't like. So that's a project that I want to work on. I'm guessing I'll just have to talk to these people one at a time as I meet them because I don't know where they are. I don't know how to find them.
Well, I really believe that if you just stand out in Village Park with a microphone and walk up to people,
We're
and
planning on that, yeah.
I think people will talk to you, and I think you'll get some pretty candid responses. But you know, there's a lot of I think that there's a lot of opportunity for political discussion on this campus from all parties and from all sides. And you know, college campuses used to be, and still are to an extent, but they really used to be like these hubs for these kinds of debates and conversations. I don't know if it feels so viscerally intense right now due to the nature of the political world and just world in general that we're living in. I don't know if it feels like that because, you know, we're more in the thick of it now, and maybe from an outside perspective it seems a little more calm, but for some reason it really does. It's treacherous, if I can say the word, treacherous seas out there.
Well, it is, and I feel like it's like for us, and I don't know if I just find the people that are political on this campus. I don't really know how many people it is, but there's people that have pretty strong political opinions here, and there's no political like activism. There's no
Right.
political engagement. There's no organizing.
Right.
Not that I really like political activism, which, like, to be honest, I really don't. But like, there's no organizing even. There's not even anyone having these conversations, and then. Like, that's fine, I'm the only one. It is what it is. It's a little unfortunate because I don't have any clubs to collaborate with Bridge. Like, I don't have that, but that's fine. But I don't know, I want to start building a community here, and I don't know if I have enough time to even do that. I don't know if there's a way to even change that, but I just want to keep doing this because I'm hoping that if I can make enough connections with people that we can start getting something like that.
Yeah. Well, have you talked at all in your podcast recently about this? I don't know if it's something you want to talk about or not, about this convention or whatever that you're going to, like.
Oh, the Bridge USA Summit?
Yeah.
I've brought it up, yeah.
And that's coming up then next week, right?
Next week, yeah, we're going to Orlando, yeah.
And so you have some interviews though scheduled for that,
I
right?
do,
So
yeah,
you're
I
going to
will,
have some
yeah.
pretty good conversations there, it seems.
I would hope so, yeah. From what I've heard, which this is under, like, I was, and I wasn't expecting these people to be able to give me like 2 hours. Like, that's obviously
Right.
Unreasonable. But from what I've heard, like I told you yesterday after class, it's going to be a lot shorter than I thought. It's going to be hopefully 45-minute, half-hour, 45-minute interviews.
Yeah.
Sort of breaks in between things. So we're going to have to kind of be ready to just set this up on the fly and get the conversation rolling. But yeah, we have a couple planned. Hopefully 3 or 4 shorter podcasts that will just, you know, not that I want to pull a Don Green and be like, this is exactly what we're going to do, and then none of it happens because it just, you know what I mean? We have
A
plans.
little too soon to drop the Don Green name.
Well, yeah, I would just, oh, yeah, we brought it up previously, yeah. But that's the plan, to get a couple of podcasts, to get some more side content. Like, we'll be at some of the dinners, some of the guest speakers will be there, hopefully. Just going up to people, asking them questions, filming that kind of stuff, and then cutting it, putting it on YouTube as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. I think the work that you're looking to do there is.
I'm so excited to go.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
Where's that again? Is it in Florida?
It's in Orlando. Yeah.
Orlando, that's right.
Yeah, and they announced the guest speakers, which are, I'm so excited to go.
Is there anybody else from Point Park that's going that you're aware of?
Caitlin Scott is our vice president of outreach, so she'll be going with us. But it's just the 3 of us.
Nice.
Yeah, that's it. Small crowd. Pitt is bringing 5 people. They've got the biggest chapter.
And they're only bringing 5?
Well,
Or is that a lot?
Well, yeah. So that's so Bridge.
the cap?
So Bridge is flying down 3 people from each chapter.
Okay.
So they're
okay.
so they did
So
the
they-
fundraising to get 2 of their own people to go
Oh,
there
okay.
as well. Yeah,
So
so
they're
they're
going
bringing
over the
5.
cap.
They'll probably be on the same flight as us too. We're
Really?
flying. Yeah, I mean, I would imagine we're both flying out of Pittsburgh International. It would make sense that we're on the same plane as them.
Yeah.
Because we'll be landing around the same time.
You like flying?
I haven't flown since my freshman year. It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one was longer. This is only like we depart, I think, at 5:30 in the morning. We get there at like 8:30.
Is
So,
it direct? No.
Direct flight.
Is it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
They got as many people direct flights as possible. But I imagine some of the people out in California, like some of those chapters, may have a connecting flight.
Yeah.
But I have a friend. I don't really actually know a lot of other people. I know I have a friend that runs a chapter at Capitol, who was on this show, but then the episode got scrapped. So she'll be on when we actually go.
Nice.
Yeah.
And you're saying Bridge paid for you all to go?
Yeah. For 3 people from each chapter. Yeah.
Holy shit. How many chapters are there?
In the 20s, high 20s.
Wow.
20 something. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, last year they had, I think, from what the video said, they had like almost $1 million in funding
Oh my
to bring
god.
people down. Yeah.
That's gonna be incredible.
It's gonna be so fun.
I can't
I
wait.
wonder, because I think at the start it was only like a couple dozen students going like the first year. Last year there was 200 something. I wonder what it's going to be now.
Wow.
I'm so excited. It's
Yeah.
going to be so fun.
Yeah.
I can't say that enough. Like I've been, because I knew about Bridge USA last year and I was planning on starting a chapter, but I didn't have time. And
Yeah.
at that point I was still focused on with Forward Party, which I have not since really done as much with anymore just because they've been focusing on more national level stuff. But so I saw everybody at the summit and I was, oh my god, I like missed this. It looks so fun. But yeah, we're going now. We're going next week.
Can't wait to hear all about it and to see the content and, safe travels and everything on the way down.
Yeah, I have to bring a suit. I'm gonna dress up.
I
for
hate
those.
wearing a suit.
I love it.
You do?
I love
Oh, I
wearing a
hate
suit.
it.
I would wear a suit for this
Wait,
every.
did you see it said that suits are not recommended. It's
Oh
more
yeah, the
like-
jackets aren't for the dinners,
Yeah.
but for the episodes I'll have one on.
Yeah,
okay.
that makes
Yeah.
sense.
I would wear a suit for this every time if it wasn't like, because I still want this to be kind of casual.
Yeah.
You know, we kind of want this to be fun, which you still can do, I guess. But
Yeah.
yeah, I wore a suit for one of them for one of these.
Did you?
Yeah, I'll do it again at some point. Yeah,
Why have you
I'll-
never worn a suit for me? Am I not important enough?
No, but it's just like when we're talking like this, it's more casual.
Mm.
Now I would wear it next time when we play Mario Kart. I'll play Mario Kart in a suit.
We should both. Yeah. I mean,
Oh
Mario
that'd be
Kart is that
awesome.
important and that intense that I think that it warrants wearing a suit. We should even match colors or something like
So
that.
you know what I've actually thought about? Like, if we do another Halloween episode, we actually have an episode that's on St. Patrick's Day.
Mm.
So at some point, like, I think it would be funny if you and I were just wearing like giant leprechaun hats and like wearing like a green suit. Like that would be.
I actually have a
Nice.
leprechaun suit jacket, like with 4-leaf clovers on it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I need to look into that then, because maybe for our next Halloween episode, you'll have to be here. We'll have to be able to come in the studio for next Halloween episode. We'll have to dress up something ridiculous.
Yeah, no, I'm always down to come and talk to you guys. You guys do a good job at this, and
I appreciate
yeah,
that.
it's always a lot of fun.
But seriously, that would be great. Oh, there's another thing I wanted to bring up. So they're trying to ban TikTok. TikTok is on the chopping block apparently.
Again?
In some places around the country, TikTok it's looking real bleak.
Well, I mean, that's been a conversation that's been going on for like 2 years now.
Some colleges have actually started though. 'Cause I
Oh,
was
wait,
actually
you're saying colleges are trying to do this?
So I was on a call with my chapter advisor for Bridge, and she was like, "Oh, you guys should talk about TikTok because there are actually some colleges that are starting to ban it."
Wait, how can a college ban TikTok?
I don't know. But also, if the government does it, all universities follow suit because apparently they're government entities.
Well,
so
if-
would that
if-
be like that? Like you can't get access to it on like the school's internet?
Yeah, the school's internet you can't get access to, but if you have your own personal data, you can use it. Just not on school Wi-Fi. So I'm curious. So what I wanted to ask you was like, if that happens here, that falls into your jurisdiction, wouldn't it? If someone was using TikTok on university Wi-Fi.
I guess it would probably fall into my category. It'd probably be a collective conversation with either IT and my office as well. But
That's true. IT would be involved as well.
I would not, just on the very surface level of hearing this for the first time, I'm not a fan of that at all.
I'm not. I don't. Like I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it because the libertarian in me is like, why shouldn't people be able to use it? But then the other part of me is looking at the fact that it's just a data suck. That's all
Sure,
it is.
but everything is.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's true.
everything is. When you Google something, they're getting
This
your
is
data.
true, but this is a foreign entity that owns this, and
Sure.
and that owner is the biggest intellectual thief,
Yeah.
intellectual property thief in the world.
Yeah.
So that's the only part that kind of concerns me is like I think I like that government officials do not have access to it because that's like then you're getting data into our actual
Is that a real?
government
That's a
work.
real thing.
Yeah, government employees in some states aren't allowed to use them anymore. Yeah,
Wow.
and I'm guessing that it's still like on government Wi-Fi, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or maybe it is just like in the facility. Like if you're at work working for a state or federal government, you're just not allowed to have it.
Are there any schools that have actually come out and said that they're for banning TikTok on their campus?
Gavin, can you?
Yep.
Yeah, Gavin's on it. That's part I don't know, but I was curious about this, so I wanted to talk to you because it would be IT and it would be under you. I'm guessing then. If that
Yeah, I would
be a
assume.
thing.
I mean, because I mean, here's the thing. Like, if it really depends on the details.
Right.
If it is like I can't imagine, unless the U.S. government deems TikTok to be unavailable in the United States, which is a conversation.
Yeah, it's a national security threat problem.
Right.
That's what they're bringing up.
Then yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be a fan of that either. But if it's nationwide, then it's nationwide, and then nobody will
Right.
actually have it in the App Store, right? But
Right.
if it's available and people have it on their phones, and at particular schools, like, yeah, we are not fans of our students being on TikTok, and so we're gonna make it so that if you're on our internet and you access it, like,
It just kicks you off.
yeah, like
Yeah.
I don't like that at all. I just don't like that idea. I don't even know how you would execute it. You got something, Gavin?
Yeah, so it says that TikTok is being banned in multiple Texas public universities.
Okay.
So
I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah, Texas.
But yeah, I kind of agree with you. Like, I don't like the idea of telling people that they can't go look on a certain app because it's a
Right.
national security threat. Because that's the same problem I have with the fact checkers and the misinformation thing on social media. Is like I've seen meme pages get flagged for misinformation. Like, it's a fucking meme page. This is clearly satirical, and you're like fact checking this, and you're like shadow banning their page. Like, that part I don't like. But also, I don't know. It seems like we're getting our intellectual property stolen. I don't like that part either.
Yeah, and I'm also a TikTok apologist. Like, I really like TikTok.
I've never been on there, so
Really?
I don't. I am sort of biased against it. I don't really have a problem with it per se. I mean, I do think that social media in general has done a lot of nasty stuff to my generation.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know how to feel about that whole thing. A lot of it's me just doing this and like throwing my hands up in the air because I just don't know.
Look, I mean, there's bad parts of TikTok for sure, but I think there's a lot of really good parts of TikTok. Like, I learn a lot of random information, just not even like information that is worthwhile. Like, I'm not saying that I get my news or like my political or social, leanings from TikTok.
Some people do though. And
Some people
that
do.
part I think is a little
Some
bit
people
harmful.
definitely do. But I gained just a lot of random knowledge from it. I presented to a class yesterday, a senior capstone class.
Mhm.
And I was talking to this class about how there's just a corner of TikTok for literally everybody and everything. And I recently have just on my FYP been coming across some dude named Nate Petrosky, who is a homesteader in West Virginia. And his TikTok is just him showing what he's doing on his homestead, like to put up solar panels or building a new building or dealing with a fox like eating one of his ducks and then not having eggs and just the most random ass shit ever.
Yeah.
But I'm like learning a lot. Like I'm just
Yeah,
learning random things of like how somebody's living in West Virginia right now on a homestead and trying to be off the grid. There's also somebody else, I can't remember his name, but he lives in like this little teeny tiny home. And all his TikTok is telling people how he did it and encouraging others if they want to do it too. Like innocent things that will not harm the world. You know what I mean?
I mean, disc golf's huge on TikTok.
It is. It
Huge
is.
on TikTok. So that part's cool.
I actually get a ton of disc golf in my FYP.
That's awesome. Most because I brought it up in class.
And they're listening,
You gotta come disc golfing with me sometime.
I would love to.
We gotta go.
I've only done it once or twice.
Gavin's got a bag now.
Yeah?
We'll take you out with us. We'll go.
We should do.
There's a Shenley Park course.
I've been to that one, I
Listen,
think.
Shenley Park's okay.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh is timestamp. We're talking disc golf now for a little bit. Timestamp. Just randomly timestamp this thing. No, but I mean, like, because like the world championship was actually here in 2015.
Wow.
And there were a couple courses they played. One of them was like Slippery Rock, which now is like no way you're playing. Like they're not coming back
Yeah.
for that course. But
Yeah.
there are a lot of great disc golf courses, like genuinely like world ranked disc golf courses in this area. Shenley Park is not one of those, but Shenley Park might not be a bad place to start.
what is the one we went to?
That Crooked Creek is the one it's out by Ford City.
Yeah.
It's like a half hour away from my house. That's a nice little 9-hole course. But yeah, let's come out and play with us sometime. It's a
I'd
lot
love
of
to.
fun.
What you should also consider is kind of like hot ones, where you progressively eat a hot or wing and answer a question at
And then
every
we got to
hole.
do a throw.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be great. I was actually talking to one of my Nate over at Esports that has that really nice Black Magic camera. And I was like, yo, what if we filmed the whole disc golf round on a really nice camera outside and just see how it looks? And we just kind of make side content for Esports where I'm just teaching the boys how to play disc golf.
Yeah. Content
There's
is content.
something like that would be fun to do.
Yeah.
I think, I don't know why. I mean, like, I personally think that you could, and the point is that I think the point is a little bit too heavily trafficked, like foot traffic wise, to kind of do this.
Yeah.
But there should be a little basket out there in the grass in the point.
That would be cool.
There should be a little basket we could throw to.
I,
Just as a practice thing, just like.
Is there portable ones for that
Yeah.
purpose? There are.
There are, yeah, but they're not very good.
No.
No, like, okay, like portable. Obviously, like when they have a tournament, they're concrete, they're staking it in the ground.
Yeah.
There are baskets that you can just put in your backyard that just have like a metal stand and they're just kind of heavy, so they stay there.
Yeah.
There are also ones that are just plastic that are just fold up. The plastic fold up ones are not very good because
I'm sure.
the discs just don't stick. The whole point is that like the chains are there, so the disc hits the chains and it falls. The plastic chains can't absorb
Right.
any impact, so it'll hit dead center and the disc will just fly straight through and just go out the back. I'm like, what the fuck? How am I supposed to practice putting on this? Like,
Yeah.
I can't. But you could get one of those metal stand ones and just put it in the back of your car, and then you could set it up. But again, like, I'm not gonna carry that down a bit. Like, where am I gonna put it?
Yeah, that's a good point.
I don't have that kind of storage.
I know you talk about disc golf a lot.
I bring it up in class.
You do?
That's the only sport. Like, we're supposed to give updates on sports, which I love.
Yeah.
But that's the only sport that I follow. So I'm like, oh, I guess the class is just gonna know what's happening in disc golf.
But no, I mean that's great because I've learned a lot about that. What did we learn about? We learned about pickleball the other day.
We learned about pickleball too. Which
Never knew about
pickleball's, yeah, I was aware of it, but I just didn't. I had never watched it competitively.
Yeah.
Which now I may have to look into because it's competitive pickleball is crazy.
And we're talking for those listening. We're talking about the sports podcasting class that I instructed. Carson's
Yeah,
also in.
which I would recommend. It's fun.
It's a good class.
It's
you
a
know.
lot of fun.
No,
It is.
there's no quizzes, there's no final, right? We're just trying to learn how to make podcasts. But we do talk about sports all the time, and what I really like is we have a lot of good like diversity and sport interest in there. Like
We do.
um,
We have football people, we have baseball people, hockey people,
soccer.
soccer. Yeah.
Yeah, and even people like it's not just even like Pittsburgh heavy. Like we got somebody in there who's from Philly, who's
Yep,
you
we
know
do.
repping the Flyers and the Eagles and stuff. And
Yes.
so yeah, it's a good time, and I definitely enjoy you bringing up the conversations about disc golf. What did you say yesterday? Somebody at some tournament. or
David
whatever?
Wiggins won the world distance contest with a 710-foot throw, which isn't that's low numbers for him. He has thrown when he was 16, he set the world record with that 1,108-foot throw. Now that was out in the desert; it was really windy, so that it got a lot. But still, I mean, it's insanely impressive that
Yeah.
he's able to do that. And the Pro Tour starts up in like 2 weeks.
There's a lot of bands in the pop punk world for some reason. There is a pipeline between disc golf and pop punk right now that
There
I'm
is,
seeing.
yes,
And I
absolutely.
don't know why, but there is a band called Cliff Diver. You should check them out because they actually got, I don't know what company gave them a deal, but they have a deal now with a disc golf
Cliff Diver.
Cliff Diver. They're from Oklahoma, I believe. And they also just recently released an album at the back end or mid 2022 that I strongly, strongly recommend people listen to. The name of it is escaping me at the moment.
Oh, the Innova gave him a sponsorship. That's pretty cool.
So you know that company?
Yeah, that's one of the original big companies. Yeah.
So and I remember whenever they got that, they posted on like social media how stoked they were. I guess like the whole band plays, which I think is so freaking
That's
cool.
awesome.
I
I want to get a group of friends to go play with because I mainly play with my family, which is great because it's a nice way to get outside. And you know, I play a bunch, and my brother doesn't really play that often, and he beats me, and it's like nothing makes him happier than that.
He doesn't play that often, and he beats you.
Well, sometimes I just have a bad day, and he just like will
Every
happen
time you
to
play him, you have a bad day.
No, I do beat him, but occasionally he'll beat me because I'm just like I can't putt or anything like that for shit, and he'll be like nothing makes him happier than that.
Are there handicaps in disc golf?
Oh,
Like there is golf. Like in golf, there's handicaps. Is there?
Oh, like bunkers and like
No,
OB?
I'm not. I'm not a great golfer myself, so I don't really. Gavin, do you golf?
No.
Like golf. There's like from what I don't. I'm gonna embarrass myself by trying to explain what a handicap in
No,
golf
this is okay. I think I can.
Well, from what I understand, like I guess like the best way I can try to explain it is that to make the game more competitive or equal or fair, like a handicap like gives you like a plus or minus on your score to like depending on how you typically play, like your average or something like that?
Oh,
I don't think they do it in pro.
that sort of thing. Not not really, to be honest. YouTubers on YouTube, they'll be like, oh, there will be a smaller content creator that will like do a video with one of the pros, and they'll be like, oh, I'm playing with so and so person. I get a 7-stroke lead to
That's
start
what-
the
that's
video,
what I
and we'll
mean.
see
Yeah,
if they
yeah,
can beat me.
yeah.
That's more of a casual
Okay,
thing.
yeah.
Not at but at the professional level, what they will do, I believe, is they will put players that are similarly rated. So depending on how many strokes a course is, depending on how difficult that course is rated to be, you get a certain rating based on how you shoot. And then so you have a player rating, which is determined by how your rating on your rounds that you play. So they'll do that as well.
Is disc golf, is it an individual sport?
Yeah. There are companies that have teams, and there is a mixed doubles. There is like a doubles scene at Worlds where they'll have like two people that get together and you play best shot
Nice.
doubles, but it's mostly a single.
Okay.
Almost entirely single person. Yeah. But there are companies that have teams that are just like stacked.
Yeah.
Like there's one company right now that they have like everybody.
Really?
Like almost every, yeah, their team is stacked. Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see where this particular sport and industry goes.
It's $1 billion industry at this point.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's
yeah,
$1 billion.
I guess
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
already there.
There are a couple companies that are valued at around $1 billion, which is nuts. That part's crazy. You never could have. I mean, like I started following during the pandemic was great for disc golf because you could go outside. It was like
Right.
it was socially
Right. That's
distanced.
a good point, yeah.
Because you don't have to wear a mat. You're just all the courses are outside.
Yeah.
95% of them in this part of the country are free to play.
Really?
Yeah, the majority of them are free to play now. A lot of the courses that are bigger. So, for example, like the first event on the Pro Tour this year is going to be at Las Vegas. That's on a golf course. So that's a course that's not around all the time.
Yeah.
But you have to pay to play that one if it is around because they have to maintain the golf course.
Do you have to like get like a tee time like the way you do in golf?
No.
No, you just show
When
up.
it's free, you just show up. Yeah.
You just show up.
Occasionally there will be like leagues and you won't be able to play because you're not in the league,
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But for the most part, yeah, you just kind of find out when the leagues are. Like at that course I played with Gavin when he came back to my house to play. Like Saturday mornings is leagues, but if you go on Saturday at like 1 o'clock, there's no one there.
Where are you from again?
I'm from New Kent.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Not
And
too-
that
not too
course,
far.
no, not far at all. Yeah, but it's so fun. Yeah, and then you just buy a starter set of discs.
How many
Actually,
do you have to have like in your
You could have
arsenal?
You could have one if you really wanted to.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, if you would come start with me, I'd only have you throw putters
Okay.
because that's the beginner thing. Because the people starting to like, oh, a distance driver, throw farther. I throw like mid ranges about as far as I throw drivers.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the drivers do not really equate to. If you're one of the pros, it does.
Yeah.
Like they can't throw a putter 500 feet, but they can throw a driver 500 feet.
Okay.
But I would have you throw putters because putters are the best for a beginner because
Do you get more control on it or something? Yeah.
more control. Yeah, and it doesn't require as much power
Okay.
to get it to actually go. Yeah,
We got to make this happen. I would be
I-
completely down to go and try this out.
I would love to have you come play with us. It's a lot. It's a fun sport, man. It's fun and it's easy to get into.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't say don't buy a starter because the starter set's going to give you drivers and it's like
Yeah.
they're going to be useless to you for the first probably the first couple months that you play or
Yeah.
even the first year depending on how frequently you play. They're going to be useless. But I'll get you a couple putters and maybe a mid range and we'll go out there and we'll play.
Let's do it.
That would be so fun.
We got Mario Kart. We got disc golf coming up.
Yes.
Full docket of fun activities.
Yeah, and hopefully, at some point, I don't know if you're like allowed to do this because you like work, and you're a faculty, you're allowed to. There's got to be at some point there's gonna be some sort of bridge event or some sort of podcast side content thing
Oh, yeah.
that I'd love for you to be involved in.
Yeah, I can. I think one of the things I love about working in higher education is that there's a lot of freedom to do things. I mean, obviously, be a good person, be ethical, don't cross lines and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
I mean, one, there's a ton of academic freedom. Two, like right now, I'm in my full daytime job as director of student conduct, but I'm talking to you for 2 hours on the podcast.
Yeah,
you
we're
know
on
what I
a
mean?
podcast,
So there's a lot of freedom. At the end of the day, my vision of higher education as an administrator and leader in higher education is I need to be connecting with students.
Yeah.
And so if that means it's talking to you on a podcast or throwing a disc golf or doing something for bridge or I'm actually going, maybe this is kind of in the vein of what you're talking about. In the next couple weeks, I think it's February the 19th, I'm actually going with Black Student Union. I'm chaperoning them going to DC
That's great. They're coming on the show.
Nice.
President and Vice President.
Kayla and who's the vice president?
Her name is. Oh, I don't want to get names wrong here.
Yeah, I'm not putting you on the
I
spot.
follow her on Instagram.
Yeah,
I think
there's
it's
Kayla.
I think it's Saran.
Saran.
Saran?
I thought. Oh, is she VP now? I thought she was treasurer. Maybe she moved up.
She moved to the VP. I apologize for mispronouncing that.
Oh, no.
That's my apology.
Saran, and Saran was in one of my classes in the
Yeah.
past too. Saran's great.
Yeah, they'll be here.
Yeah. So yeah, they asked me to go. They're gonna go and see the African American History Museum and
Oh,
just
that's
kind of
great.
tour DC. And so
Yeah.
we're leaving February the 19th at like 5 in the morning. It's a day trip. We're gonna go down there and then
one
come
day.
back by 11 o'clock or midnight or so.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's those kinds of opportunities that, I mean, I can't imagine having a professional career in any other industry because, you know, you get to do this kind of fun shit all the time.
You do. Okay. This is another big ideas mode thing. Timestamp. Okay, so my brain goes into big ideas mode. I'm like, oh, what if I could do this? So, okay, what's the process for teaching a class? What are the requirements?
So,
Do you know this?
I do.
Okay.
You're saying like how I teach a class.
Yeah, like what was the process for you getting sports podcasting on the list?
So the first thing is in higher education, like you don't need to be a certified teacher the way that you need to be in K through 12. So
That's good.
There's no certification, and you don't even have to like go to school for it. Basically, and I'm sure different schools have different requirements. So this is just a very, broad scope kind of answer to it. But essentially, number one, you have to have a degree higher than that of which you're teaching. So I teach undergrad. I have a master's degree.
So I have to have a master's to teach a class.
An undergrad class, yeah. And if I wanted to teach a master's class, I'd have to have a doctorate, which I'm gonna hopefully get at some point soon.
Oh, really?
My God, yeah. I mean, I love learning, and I love
That'd be
being
sweet.
I love being a student in classes just as much as I love teaching classes, and I feel like they're symbiotic and would only help me facilitate classes better. But yeah, I want to get multiple degrees, and I mean, times they are changing, so why not continue moving with the times? So you have to have a degree higher than that of which you're teaching, and then to be honest with you, you have to be an expert in something, right?
Gotcha.
So like typically, so talking about Point Park, like they always, the school boasts about the faculty, and they should. I mean, I think we have fantastic faculty.
Oh, yeah.
And the reason why we can say we have fantastic faculty is because these people are literal experts in their field. You and I have talked about Ed Traviseri before. I mean, does it get better than that man being a faculty
It
member?
doesn't get better than that.
It can't.
We were supposed to go. Like, Gavin and I have a list of side quests. Like, this is a game. and one of our side quests is to go visit Ed Traviseri at his office. The other one is to go visit Bernie Ankeny, to go visit him, because I run into me, he's like, come visit. And I'm like, I would love to come visit. I just have to organize that. I have to stop by and visit. Those are our side quests. Right?
Yeah, no, I love how you phrased that. But yeah, I mean, you have to be an expert at something. Like I teach a sports podcast. I'm not an expert in sports, but I'm decently.
You have a podcast.
Yeah,
you know what you're doing.
Decently understanding of the podcasting world, right?
Right.
I also teach 2 different versions of a career prep class. Now, am I a career prep expert? No, but do I know how to coach people on how to present themselves and brand themselves, and do I know how to critique somebody's resume and to give them confidence and tips on interviewing? I mean, I interview hundreds of bands, a year. Well, not a year, but 100 bands a year or something like that. So yeah, I mean, you have to like just have the level above of what you're teaching, be an expert in some particular area, and then the last part is a little bit more loose and probably even the most challenging part, because you can control getting the level of degree that you need. You can control being an expert in something. This last part is a little out of your control. There's a political game. You know what I mean? It's kind of who you know a little bit. Like full transparency, the way that I ended up getting these career prep classes that I teach, one's in sports art and entertainment management, and one's in the management programs. I used to advise in the Center for Student Success for the School of Business. I worked very closely with Dr. Patrick Mulvihill, who I actually have another podcast with, and I don't know if I ever really talked to you much about that. It's called Take the Hill.
You mentioned
and
this,
we interview people from around the world just about various leadership activity that they dive into. And so I got very close to Patrick just from working with the School of Business students. And he ended up finding out, you know, that I run a podcast, and he invited me to join his podcast. And Patrick had this idea at the time, since I was connecting really strongly with students in the School of Business. He thought it'd be a great way to continue facilitating that and connecting with students, and also just bridging any gaps that they may have with the university by having their advisor also teach a class in the School of Business.
Right.
So it's a, you know, it's a 1-credit course. It's, you know, not too lengthy of a commitment and everything. So Patrick and I got close, and he helped me get my foot in the door to teach that class. Before teaching that class, though, I did also teach and still do teach University 101, City
Yes.
University Life. The way that I got into that was a similar idea where I used to advise in the Center for Student Success. And a lot of the instructors for University 101 are advisors in the Center for Student Success. The mentality is that advisors, you know, they just have like a different approach, I think, more flexible, maybe understanding of certain adversities that students face. Like a full-on faculty member, and this is no disrespect whatsoever, but a full-on faculty member, like, you know, they're looking at it from the faculty perspective, I think.
Yeah.
Advisors are looking at it from both a faculty and staff perspective, like from the human perspective a little bit more. And so, like, maybe there's a little bit more hand-holding involved, a little bit more flexibility, but that's really what got my foot in the door to teach University 101. The sports podcasting thing, to be honest with you, was the most organic of them all, because I really was pushing for University 101 in the career preps. The School of Con reached out to me and said,
really?
hey, we have a new degree called sports communication, and one of the classes in it is a sports podcasting class. And I guess rumor just was going around the university that I have a podcast and know about podcasting, and so they were like, do you want to basically write the curriculum for this and teach it? And I said,
Whoa,
hell yeah, I do.
that would be cool.
Yeah, so that one just, I never knew that was happening. I just got a random email from Bernie Ankney one day, and the rest is
That's
history.
awesome. I love getting emails from Bernie. That's like,
Bernie's a good guy.
I love it. But anyway, so because the big ideas was that I wanted to teach a class
Yeah.
on political bridge building my
Yeah.
senior year, but I can't because I wouldn't have the degree.
Well, true. Like,
I'd have to get the degree first, and then I could teach it.
correct. In theory.
In theory, yeah.
And I'm sure that has things to do with like accreditation requirements and standards and programs and whatnot.
Mm.
But I think that, you know, you could start to leverage that idea by maybe putting on like a symposium or something, or a Q&A, or
Yeah.
like a day-long conference that people can sign up for that isn't college credit bound, you know, or
That's
there's
actually
certainly,
kind of a cool idea.
certainly things you could do. And all that would do is build up your own experience and resume for whenever you
Yeah.
are trying to play the political game of trying to get into teaching a class. Because once you kind of get in, then you're kind of in, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's something that I think you would also excel at teaching.
Because I work for a youth activism project right now, which is like I work for the child company, which is called Mosaic,
Okay.
and we've been developing a curriculum for progressive activists that are running into political conflict.
Yeah.
To learn how to bridge build, and we made it for conservatives too, but we can't find any to, like, we don't know where they are, like, to get them to come to these spaces.
Well-
And so that's kind of the thing I was thinking, like, I could use that to help write the curriculum for a class that I could teach.
Yeah. You should really consider like putting on some sort of like mini like half-day conference or something like that where students can attend it for free and just
Yeah,
why not? I think that might be a good way to network and even
that could be a senior year thing.
Yeah.
That I could do. I don't mean to like say that I couldn't do it now, but I do kind of feel like I need to build more of that community first.
Yeah,
To actually
no,
get
of course.
people to care.
Of course.
That kind of thing. But that's kind of why I'm so obsessed right now with trying to build a community here, because I want things to actually happen. Like I want students to actually care about what's happening with student media, because they really, like, we do get something that we can't get anywhere else
Yeah,
here.
I'm telling you. You know, I went to Kent State University, which has 30,000 some students there.
Very nice.
It is. It's a beautiful campus
Yeah.
and school, and they're also known for their journalism and media as well.
Mhm.
But this being such a small school with the access to these instructors that we just talked about being experts in their field, like and I love Kent State. I go back there and visit all the
And
time.
my brother's there. I've been up there a couple
Oh,
times.
really?
Yeah, he went back.
I would argue that Point Park is maybe stronger in that, stronger in terms of like the opportunity, but not as strong in terms of the camaraderie and support and the pushing of that media out. Like at Kent State, there is stuff on their TVs nonstop. Now they're obviously athletically, they're D1 school, so
Yeah.
you know they're always showing that kind of stuff. I mean, their newspaper is an accredited national, you know, newspaper. Their Black Squirrel Radio is, you can listen to that. I mean, any radio you can really listen to around, you know, the world at this point. But yeah, I think that like the access and the media options here are quite impressive. But as we kind of talked about before, it's like the content in the media is created and then it's like it disappears.
It's just no one gets to listen to it.
Right.
And I feel like, why can't the Globe be a symbol? Like, why can't the Globe be all over Pittsburgh? Why
Right.
can't people be reading it? Why can't people be watching UView all over Pittsburgh?
Right.
Like,
Like we distributed the Daily Kent Stater to Cleveland, to Ashtabula, like to all these places around Ohio. Like they got it with like the Clevelander or the whatever the hell that paper is called. So yeah, I mean it. Look, there's opportunities, but it really takes people like you two to vocalize this interest and to rally your peers. Because look, you know, I like to think that I am in tune to an extent with the students at this school. You know, I'm getting older and the gap between me and all of you grows every single year. And so there's only so much of an impact that somebody like me can make. It really takes people like you to be creating the content and pushing it out there and challenging your peers to engage with it and to create their own and to build this symbiotic relationship between it. You and I just, in class, I think recently talked about, and in my presentation to this capstone class recently, I talked about, what, like for example, when you're building a podcast up, one of the advices that I give to people is to swap shows with other podcasters. Like have a host from another podcast on your show, and then have it so that you get to go on theirs. Like,
Yeah.
And then you both share that content, you share the audience together, and it's kind of like what you said with like Joe Rogan and bringing on these comedians and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like lift each other up. There is no value in dragging somebody down. You're putting bad juju out there, and it's not going to help.
Yeah, like, I think the Globe, I think the Globe does do features on clubs, but like, I feel like there should be like a weekly feature.
Yeah.
Like even if it's repeating, give me a weekly feature on what's happening with clubs, ads on WPPJ, get
Yeah.
them for interviews on UView. And that should just be something that's happening organically, just constantly throughout the year.
Yeah.
Because then people actually care. Because right now it seems like, I think the reason why a lot of students don't care about what student government does is because student government just seems like an internal thing.
Yeah.
You get in, and then you just talk about stuff internally, and aside from the bus passes thing, which is really awesome, they finally got that figured out, it's not really coupled with any on-campus action. And I feel like you've used the same thing. You go in, you film the TV, what do we talk about, that kind of thing. And then no one really watches it, but it should be on every TV on campus.
Like, how sick would it be for, like, Kendra and whomever the future president will be, like, how sick would it be for them to have, like, a State of the Union, like, address that is put onto the TVs here?
That would be so cool.
It would be amazing. Like, why is there not, like, a monthly even thing that, like, the president is on a TV talking to the student body? There should be, like,
Yeah.
I know that they have, like, their weekly meetings on Mondays at 3:30 or whatever it is. And I don't know how many
Over
people
student
go to-
government?
Yeah.
It's student government, that's who goes to it.
So it's not open to the public?
It is open, but I don't think anywhere really. Like, very, very few.
Yeah.
Yeah, from what I remember. Mm-hmm.
And I'm kind of looking forward though, because the SGA stuff's about to kick off, like the election cycle. I
I'm
think.
moderating.
I
the
was
UView
gonna
debate.
say, like, I'm really
Yeah.
excited for the debates and stuff like that. Like that. That's exciting times. I know
That is.
politics can irritate people, but I mean, let student government be like something maybe to get your foot in the door, to recognize the power that you can have by sharing your voice. And, you know, small local government is where a lot of the big tangible changes happen.
Yeah.
Let student government at Point Park be that introduction for people. I mean, that's why it exists. It's not just to, in my opinion, student government exists, one, to advocate for the student and to make changes and all that. But I think it also is an educational tool and piece to get people interested, knowledgeable, and active in politics.
And imagine what a recruitment flex that is. Because right now we can flex all the media opportunities we give the students, which is true. But as soon as you get here, and I don't mean to be saying this as like a discouragement point, but
Right.
like the truth is that when I got here, I realized, oh, it's cliquey.
Yeah.
Like all of it's cliquey, and I've met some really like I've met you, I've met so many great people here, so where I've built a group that I like to be around. I've built a network, a small network, but that should be something that every student gets to do, and that's why I love esports so much, is because like esports is a community of people that I was able to jump into, and the benefit that we have is we're the only athletic program that plays their sport on campus. We are the only one.
Volleyball does.
That's true. Volleyball does. That's true. So I take it back then. But we're one of the only ones.
Yeah, yeah.
So we have that benefit, and I feel like everyone should just be collaborating all the time, and I don't know why people don't. Maybe people just don't know each other.
How do we fix that?
I don't know, but I want people to reach out to me. And the other problem is that like this is kind of like my fault. Like I was never really a big social media person, so I don't have a big social media account.
Yeah.
And even on this campus, I don't have a whole lot of reach.
Yeah.
On social, I feel like in person I can get more reach because I can actually go talk to people. But I would want people to reach out because I think that we all just need to start collaborating with each other more. Because if we can get the newspaper to be read off campus and we can get everything to be listened to on and off campus, then more people are actually going to care.
I'd like to see, what I would love to see, and this is in the vein of things that we've talked about, but I think that the three of us and anybody else listening and anybody else interested, what we should start to put, let's live within our world, right? So we're into podcasting, we're doing this kind of stuff, you guys are doing great work with it, I understand podcasting. We should push for podcasts that are video podcasts specifically, that are created by students here, for us to have access to 1 to 3 or 5 or whatever you want to call it, TVs around campus, where we can upload every week a series of podcasts, whether that's 5 or 10 or anybody who submits them, and they just play on repeat, and that they're available. Like, why the hell not? Look at this space, it's beautiful.
This is the coolest, like the fact that we have this. The
Yeah.
studio at the studio at the CMI was like, oh, this is cool, we get to run podcasts. This is like
This
a
is
legit. That was a radio studio
Yeah.
that you could run podcasts in.
Right.
This is a podcast studio.
It is. This is exactly where podcasting is at right now, aesthetically, equipment-wise, accessibility. I love that this studio is just off campus. You know what I mean? It's so close, like if we open up that window, like
You could see.
we can see it, but it is just enough off campus where like you don't feel like you're like being heard by like people at the university. I just feel like freedom of thought and speech can really occur in this space because you're
Yeah,
not-
because you're off campus a
Right,
little bit. Yeah.
right. But yeah, I would
Who
love
do we
to
talk to make this happen? Because I think that those TVs on campus, I don't know who manages those, but they need to be running student media more often.
I agree. I
And
mean,
like the CMI would run like fucking CNN and Fox News outside. You have 4 radio,
Yeah,
you have 4
yeah.
TV shows inside. Students are making stuff.
Yeah.
You have podcasts. You have like
So back when we first were starting this podcast, I remember Wayne saying like he wants to get remember those TVs, right?
Yes.
He wanted to get our podcast
we
and
need to
other
talk to Wayne and
students'
Trevor about
podcasts.
this as well.
So I
Wayne-
wonder if the
Wayne
new
and Trevor.
studio is going to have those TVs on the outside.
Wayne and Tanner, not
Oh,
Trevor.
oh.
sorry, Tanner. No, but he did say that. That's true. Like I want to make this happen because I want people to actually care, and I want people to like. It's not just that I want more people to listen to my podcast. Like I want more people to listen to everything. I
Well-
want to have friends over at the Globe and over at UView. Like I do have friends over there, but it's not like I know these people. I want to know what they're doing all the time. I want it to be put fucking flyers up on all these sailboards. Like tell me what the people are doing. Like what's going on.
you know what would also be pretty interesting, and I don't mean to keep spitballing ideas here as we're winding things
This
down.
is what that's true. Keep going though.
But I also wonder if it would be cool for the university or some entity in the university to create, so like you all have your own RSS feed, right, that pushes out not just politics out into the Spotifys of the world and everything else.
Yes.
Point Park, School of Comm, yo, what's up, dude?
Oh, I didn't know I was interrupting.
Oh my God, we've got a
Yo,
friend.
what's up?
We've got a friend in the
We're
studio.
coming here to record.
Oh no, we're not recording right now. I just came.
Okay.
I came early. I'm good.
Okay, sweet. How you been?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Dante Washington is in the studio.
I didn't mess this up, did I?
No, you're fine. We're kind of winding down, to be honest.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But
Yeah.
what I would love to see is, I think one way to make this happen the idea of getting like podcasts onto some, like video podcasts onto TVs around campuses.
Mhm.
Like, let's just say the School of Communication creates its own RSS feed that all of you students that are creating podcasts, Dante, everybody, can give their episode to the School of Com, and we just upload these to a collective RSS feed. Like,
Yeah.
why not?
Why can't we do that?
And then we just put Spotify on a TV and hit play on.
Have it play in the cafe. Have it play literally everywhere. Just have it play in all of these spaces.
I'm gonna make this happen.
I want
The
to
millions of people watching, including the 1975.
to the millions of people watching.
All of you, Logan Paul, everybody watching. I'm committing to you right now. Number one, 500,000 views on this video.
And Angelo will throw the switch into the wall.
I'm chucking my switch into the wall, will obliterate into pieces. But I'm also making this promise too. I'm gonna look into trying to see how we can get it. Let's start with podcasts. Let's start with what I know, what we know. Let's
Yes.
get some video podcasts up on TVs. Let's look at the student center, because that's where I live. I live in the student. I mean, I work in the student center. I
seriously.
live there.
I mean, and I think like same thing like with esports. Like can we stream on Twitch? Let's get VODs. Let's get clips.
Yep.
Okay, so we need to make a list of things. Okay, so first of all, we need to get in suits for the next time we do this and play
Suits,
Mario Kart.
Mario Kart.
So we're gonna dress in suits and we're gonna play Mario Kart. Okay.
Yep.
We're gonna try Prime
We-
energy
yeah,
drink,
yeah.
the official drink of the UFC on that same show.
Yes.
So
And
that's
it will-
for the
it-
next time you're here.
And it very well may become the official drink of not just politics.
Oh, the Paul brothers are listening.
They
so
are,
yes,
they are.
We'd love a sponsorship. Okay, but then on a more serious note, that is all very serious.
It is serious, yeah.
But also, I'll stop by your office. We need to talk about this because we need to get a School of Com art. We need a School of Business RSS feed.
Yeah.
We need to get all of these things. Pioneer Records needs to jump on it. We need to feature student artists, like all of this stuff, because I seriously want to do this.
You know what okay, let me say one other idea, because I want to say because it's being recorded and I'm going to forget it.
Gonna put it out in the universe.
I am going to put it out there. There should be a podcasting student organization here. Is
Yeah,
really
there
what,
should
what
be.
there should be. I mean, that would create a community and just push each other's content, interview each other on shit like that.
Mhm.
And then we could, look, let's do this. Let's figure out a way to create a collective RSS feed where students can submit their podcast and then it gets played around the university. Let's do this. Let's make this
that
happen.
right there is enough. That would be a start.
Let's make it happen.
Let's get the RSS feed, and then we'll go from there.
I can't wait.
I love this.
I love you.
I love you too, Peter. No, seriously, you're the best, man. You're the best. I love talking to you. You've got to come back, because we're playing Mario Kart, we're going to drink Prime. What else are we going to do? We got to throw something else in there, something ridiculous. Because that's going to be the thumbnail, and that's going to be the title. It's going to be like the wildest title we've
It
had.
is.
Like,
Chuck a switch, play Mario Kart, Prime, disc golf, and creating an RSS feed for students at the Point Park University. At the Point
at
Park
the Point
University.
Park. Student conduct leader plays Mario Kart and drinks Prime on air.
I love
Isn't
it.
crazy?
Let's make it happen.
All right, see you, everybody. We're out of here.